Now I'm here. Thank you, all of you. I need to get used to all of this. So, howdy, good evening, and get ready for episode 2 of the Plantation. We just got ready, all of us, and we're going to do a little recap. But I just told my players, Wilhelm Bostwick here didn't catch it because he just arrived right on time. But remember, you guys have your storyteller points. They are there for a reason. Make sure this story turns out the way you want it to turn out. And with that, I am going to do a little recap. So these guys are more or less the 4 main figures on a small plantation, or you could rather almost call it a small farm, in the early colonization of America. They are about 5 days northwest of the first settlement called Jamestown, on a small farm that is named Northern Verena Farms. This plantation has seen production throughout 2 years now, even though the colonies have been lasting for a lot longer. There has been some hardship now and then, but the plantation in itself, or in that area, has been very peaceful. Some of you went out to fight the natives, or maybe even Spanish or French, but the last half year at least has been very, very peaceful, because you have had peace treaties with everyone, including the natives. And since you're out in the middle of nowhere and everyone lives very far away, no one cares to check in on you. You guys are on your own on this plantation, and you send everything you produce once a week down the river. I've got a little handout for this as well. This is the plantation. You can see the plantation fields on the left there. 5 days a week. Everyone on the plantation, except for a couple, privileged people on the farm here, go out there to work. On the 5th day, they work on things that require attention in the village itself or on the farm, because there are rumors that this one day is going to be a city. It's in such a good location, and there's plenty of bountiful land around here, so they wanted to become a city if things go, keep going the way things are going right now. And in this story, we have our players, as I said. We've got James Eden over there. That's the doctor of the city. He is also going to be the mayor of the town, if it becomes a town. That means everything has to go smoothly. And the guy below him, that's Dane Withermore. He's the boss of the plantation, and he makes all the decisions from a day-to-day basis. He is also the only one with a lord title. He is a noble, and he is in command more or less 5 days a week. On the 6th day, that's James Eden's day, because that's city day, and on the 7th day, it's time for rest and holiness. That's where the priest comes along, John Gladstone here. And down there we have the hunter. If everything goes to hell and there's a war or a fight going on, he's the militia captain and a very experienced soldier with some rank. So people have been following him to war before, both against natives or French or Spaniards. So they really know he is the man to follow in such a situation. But there's a very strange situation going on the plantation right now, because in the middle of this peacetime, in the middle of the night actually, a very special thing happened. Someone started out screaming that John Anstey has been killed. He's dead. And John Anstey, who's the John Anstey? Well, he is one of the workers. And when everyone came out to see him, they found him dead in the mud during the middle of the night with tons of rain pouring down, his throat ripped out, his chest cut open, ripped open, and his heart missing. And as all of the workers, about 50 of them, stand around in a small circle around him and watch him with their torches, they are wondering, where are the leaders around here? Where's John Gladstone? Well, he's coming out from the little shack he has beside his church. Huddled, he's sick. He is sick now and then. He's survived through a lot of ordeals back when they first started the settlements. And he is trying to, get a grip on what's going on. As he's closing in, this guy comes out of his house, looking very out of it, with bloody hands. And that guy comes stumbling out of his warehouse house, all drunk and, making no sense of what he's talking about. And after a short while of people wondering what the hell is going on, this guy comes out from the forest. People are first thinking they are under attack or something bad is coming to attack them from the forest, but it seems Wilhelm Bostwick thought something was off during the night, so he stayed up a bit late to check what's going on. And he says someone or something snuck up on him, which is very rare, because this guy is one of the better hunters around, and no one has managed to do that before, and attacked him. And he got knocked out as he struck a tree with his head and got a wound on his rib cage, and he, blacked out. And during all of this ordeal, while people are calling for help, they see him coming out. He woke up. And they do a little research on this. They find a little hair on the corpse of this John Anstey. The doctor takes a look at it. He has his opinions, and they do a little brainstorming of this. But they're all tired, they're hurt, they're injured. There's a lot of things going on. They need to take it a bit easy. The workers on the camp, they would like to have some weapons delivered to them, because James Eden here has control over the armory. But he is afraid there will be, general panic and people shooting everywhere, so he denies them the weapons. There's a bit of conflict surrounding this, and some of the people are wondering, because one of the people in town, one of the workers called Thomas Bide, actually said he saw a native during the day before. He saw him up in the mountains during the forest there, and the people are saying, they might be breaking the peace treaty, they're under attack, please give us weapons. But nothing is going on right now. Only one guy is dead, or only one guy. There's not that many people in the camp, so one death is one death too many. This is going to be the first grave on the northern Verena farms. So they wait until the next day and try to, keep working as usual, while, the leaders of the town sleep off their sickness, non-sleeping, drunkenness, or injuries. And, they are going to try to cheer up the lads a bit more with a bit of wine and, get some closure for this John Anstey who got killed during the night with the funeral. They see there's a guy missing. Vincent Lucas. One of Wilhelm's roommates. He knows him well. He's a very scared feller. He doesn't like to go alone anywhere. And especially when someone just got murdered in the middle of the night. And they do a little search on the camp. They can't find him, but Wilhelm Bostwick's friend, Haynes, he has taught a little trick or two as well from tracking, and he realized there's a couple of tracks behind the eating hall. I'll show it on the handout as well. The food court here. In between the doctor's residence to the top right here and the food court, there's a couple of tracks leading out to the right here into the forest. The right and the forest here is actually north, and the tracks seem to be leading just, walking leisurely out into the forest, going up towards the mountains. And there's a lot of mountains up there, and there's a lot of caves up there. Even though his injuries are bothering him, Wilhelm decides to check out the tracks as far as he is able to. And there are no one else with him. It doesn't seem like someone is taking him hostage or dragging him along, or he's carrying someone. Nothing like that. Just the regular workers' boots strolling out into the forest, going north, heading towards the mountains. And as far as he can see, he is heading towards a pass where there's only one cave, and that cave is actually known around this camp as the Mouth of Hell. Aptly named because it's a huge black hole in the wall, seems to swallow up everything. For those who have seen it, and that's not too many in the village or on the farm. As they were, discussing a bit of this, they got a bit of weapons, and they started having a couple of thoughts surrounding this, and they wanted to search Vincent Lucas's belongings in his room, which is in the same room as Willem here. So they go there and check, and they find a couple of letters. The priest, since he is a man of confidence, the people have his confidence, he says he will take a look at those letters. He takes a look and shoves it in his pocket. Says there's nothing of note here. And as they check, the doctor says he has his thoughts about this. That this guy might be in on something here, and maybe he's trying to frame the hunter here, Willem Bostwick. Because they had a little discussion of why whatever or whoever who killed John Anstey didn't kill Willem Bostwick. So there's a theory going on that Wilhelm might be set up here. So they ask for permission to check his stuff. Wilhelm here says, of course, go ahead. I have nothing to hide. And they go over and find one little piece of hair on his pillow that's strikingly similar to the one they found on the body of the dead John Anstey the first night. And there's where we stopped session 1. And now we're going to start session 2. We'll just do, you guys give me a little heads up in chat if any one of the players are a bit too low and I need to boost them, or if anyone is too loud. Same goes for the background music here. Well, with that, if there's anything I forgot to mention, you guys just jump right back into the scene. You are all standing in Wilhelm Bostwick's room, and James Eden is looking at this piece of hair.
Oh, we have a huge bonfire out, like at the center of the thingy, and that's only a minor detail.
Yes.
Center of the camp, yes.
Yeah, he decided to do a bit about all of the, killings and all that, or disappearings, and want a huge bonfire outside. That's correct.
Mr. Bostwick,
Yes.
what is this on your bed?
For me, it looks like a hair.
Would you mind unbuttoning your shirt, sir?
Okay. I unbuttoned my shirt.
Yeah, you can see his manly chest hair, if that's what you're looking for.
I wanna, give a thorough examination to his torso, as well as, his beard, hair. Just wanna see if there's other signs of this fur growing on him. I also want to check his wound, just to be safe. Like, is it healing, or is it healing too fast, or is it healing too slow?
You, of course, did put his bandages on early in the morning. It hasn't even gone 24 hours. So you can see there's, slight red on the bandages. So it needs a bit more healing. Unless, of course, you want to rip it up right now. The wound.
No, I don't.
I like the bandages, of course. But, you see, it's normal for anyone with a wound of that caliber to have blood seeping through, at least in the beginning. And this guy also maybe have, moved a bit too much around.
He did went out tracking, despite
Yes.
not being advised.
Correct. But as far as you can see, no, you don't find any of his chest hair, beard, or, regular hair that matches the hair you're seeing right here.
Like, does he have his own hair on the bed? Like, spread around?
Not as far as you can see, probably can. But there's a significant difference in the hair he found on his pillow and, his bodily hair. This one is thicker.
Yeah, like, I didn't see the original thing in the quotes.
And the color is different as well, or is the same color?
It is a bit different. This one is more grayish, maybe.
Can we also check your chest?
Yeah,
Sure.
you did see his chest hair, if that's
Yeah.
your...
No.
your check.
The chest where his belongings are stored. The
Oh,
storage chest,
Yeah.
not his
Yeah.
chest.
I open my chest.
Do you have any specific belongings? You're a bit, in charge of this yourself, Willem.
Well, there's nothing special that I can recall of the belongings. It's just normal stuff. That
A bit of money,
Yeah.
maybe a couple of
Yeah.
items like trophies you took from different wars, or
yeah, stuff like that.
papers from what job you have and stuff like that.
There's nothing
Any
special.
specific things you're looking for, James?
I mean, anything out of the ordinary or anything that might be interesting. I mean, you said money, you said some letters, maybe some file. Anything that is out of the ordinary, maybe an Indian trinket, maybe some souvenir.
You really check his locker, I guess. So start rummaging down there, like checking everywhere. Yes, you do find a little trinket. It's it looks something native, probably. You're not that proficient with native stuff. That's more
That's
John
right.
Gladstone and Willem Bostwick's area of expertise.
Okay, I'll take that to my hand. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, first
You
I would
can't
like
seem to remember that piece, though, Willem.
Is he taking my piece? Like,
Yeah, but you can't recall where you got that from.
okay, that's surprising. I can't really remember getting that piece. I want to check it out.
Well,
Yeah, I
can you
will,
give it back to him?
hold out my palm and make sure that everyone can glance at it, what it looks like. I'm also looking at Mr. Boswick just to assure him that I'm not trying to break his stuff. I just found it a curious piece and I'm just showing it around. Any of you gentlemen has any idea what this is? Because I don't.
No.
Can I discern which tribe it belongs to?
Yeah, of the tribes you mostly know the nearest tribe to the west, the Plantation tribe. And this doesn't look like Powhatian. It's none of the, signs or letters or marks they usually put in there.
What kind of a trinket is it then?
A bone. Some,
A bone.
kind of bone. You can't recognize what from animal or bird it is. It's hard to tell. It's not that
Is it
big.
marked by any signs?
Yeah, it is.
What sign?
Well, none of you have seen it before.
Even Mr. Boswick?
Yeah. As I said, you can't.
You claim to have no knowledge of this, Mr. Boswick.
Yeah, no, I have never seen it before.
Does anyone have access to your storage key? Maybe your
No,
roommate
you
really
usually
did
have
have
that in-
access to it.
You usually have that in your pocket, so no, unless someone, stole it from you. But you have it now, you opened it, so...
I'm starting to suspect, like, my roommate did something here, and he's responsible, maybe, but I'm not sure, because he's not the type of person to do something like this. So
Not at all.
this is very special.
He's not the kind of person to run around on his own too, though.
No, not at all. So this is really strange.
So yeah, I think we have a possession kind of thing on our hands, gentlemen.
Reverend, the letters you confiscated today contain nothing about the
It
intentions of...
is completely ordinary, just, some text between his family, his close ones, and that's it. Like, their plans together and all that, nothing out of the ordinary, it seems like. Nothing. If it was important, I would show it to you. Let's leave it at that.
With your permission, then, I would like to confiscate both of these items. I mean, the fur and the bone trinket as well, and you should think and ponder about it.
Well, it's not mine, so...
Do the markings have any shapes I can make a story out of, kinda? Like, does it describe anything? Like, as a pictogram, maybe?
There's something familiar about it, but you can't recall. If you had maybe the expertise of the cluster you came from, or some of the books there, but you don't have too much books laying around here. You only have the Bible, really. Mostly it's James Eden here who is in possession of more books, but you really don't know what he has.
Mr. Eden,
Reverend?
do you somehow, like, maybe be fascinated by the natives and their culture, as I am?
I do have an interest in the native folk, but perhaps not as keen as yours. Just as
Perhaps
wanting to know my
together
neighbors.
we can make we can make something out of this, let's say. Out of my own knowledge, I don't know anything of these markings. They don't seem to be anything
There's
close to the
something
tribes
kind of familiar with it.
Yeah, but not with the tribes I was with.
Yeah. That it's probably something you saw or heard back in England, actually.
Do I possess anything that might help me or help us in this matter in my personal library?
Maybe you brought along quite the book collection. Some of it were gifted to you for your travels, and some of your other stuff was your personal collection. And some of those you not even came around to read. You do have like 2 full shelves of books.
And maybe we shall glance at those books, but we should also... Please, Reverend.
its
Okay,
father.
so you said, Sheriff, that I kind of saw, like, it made me recall something I saw
Yeah.
back in England, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Mr. Eden, do you dabble in anything occult, some may
Mm,
say,
Not to my knowledge, sir.
or alchemy?
As I said, not to my knowledge.
By the way, you are
Uh,
starting to gather a small crowd. Like they try not to be too snooping, but people are walking past the in the hallway. You're standing in the barracks here. It's
Okay.
open and
Gentlemen, shall we resume this conversation at my quarters, where it's more quiet and we have access to more knowledge?
Absolutely. Lead the
Lead the
way.
way.
Yes, I will, try to secure the fur and the item, the trinket, as best as I can, so not to lose them. Maybe inside my pockets, if I have any sort of a pouch, maybe inside that.
yeah, sure.
How am I doing?
You're tired, and you just came back from that little trip, so you should be resting. But you can manage a small trip over there if Gabriel supports you or anyone else, just for a short while at least.
Can I handle it? Like, can I support him
Yeah,
myself?
you're starting to get better as well, so yeah, probably.
Okay. If it's not going to be too hard on myself, then I'll try to.
But it
Alright.
can't be too long. You need to sleep.
Worst case, you can bunk in my place, and I can, once again give him some sort of tonic to ease the pain and all. And that way, we can also observe him more closely. If anything out of the ordinary happens and all that, we can monitor him.
Maybe change the bandage.
Exactly.
Since it's 24 hours since last time.
Okay. So while we go to Mr. Eden's house, I'm going to whisper to Boswick about, actually in native tongue, but
Okay,
the
if
others
that's the
can
case,
hear of this.
Yeah.
No,
that's
I
the
don't think it
case-
has to be special. Does it have to be? It's kind
No, but I can still mute.
All right.
Those other guys. So let's do like this,
That's something small.
and you whisper to him in the native language, and go ahead.
Yeah. Boswick, you're not having any men in your bed, are you?
What?
You mean the hair? I mean,
Yeah,
I
what
guess-
about it? Having men?
I
in
guess
bed?
it could have been from another man, like, nothing like that, right?
No, father. Nothing like that.
Okay, I'm just, trying, being sure.
I only enjoy females.
But there are
You
no
don't
females
have
around.
any of them around.
Only married females when they're married to me.
Of
Okay,
course.
that's it then.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Yes, I'm gonna bring them in again.
Do we hear people giggling and speaking ooga booga?
Yes, ooga
No,
booga.
they
indeed.
don't. They don't giggle in
More
the
like.
game.
I'm more like.
But- It's very apparent for both of you that these two guys are mumbling something in a native tongue. Yeah. And you guys are now over at James Eden's house.
First order of business, I would like to, secure the clean fur, the unbloodied fur, in another jar and put the trinkets in if there is, I can produce a pouch, put it in a pouch, and I want to hang it around my neck, just, to be safe. Because I don't want to risk it being stolen, but when I'm about to do that, like when I'm going to put it on my neck, I'll just, show it to everyone to say that I'm carrying it, and like if anyone has any concerns about it, they can voice their opinion on the subject.
I hope that what become of the gunpowder does not become of these trinkets.
I certainly hope so. Father Gladstone, would you like to come up and see to the collection of my
Yes.
No,
books?
so yeah, that's you have your office next to the infirmary here. So before you have 3 rooms down here on the 1st floor, and that's the infirmary, which you walk into, and in the corner you have the armory with all the weapons and gunpowder, and on the other side you have a door into your office. It's actually pretty big. You have a fireplace going there, which is connected to the infirmary as well, and the inside there you have all your books. Upstairs is just
Sleeping room.
your sleeping quarters and the guest room as well.
Then let us lay Mr. Boswick to one of the infirmary beds so that he's rested, but he can still converse with us.
Yeah, you can all converse while you're checking on his wounds.
Should I change bandages right now, or should I wait until the morning?
Change his bandages.
And I will slowly, remove the bandages, and if it's too sticky, I will just, use a small scalpel to cut it open.
It's you're quite experienced in this. This is your field of expertise, and removing the bandages. Of course you're gonna pull out some of the scar tissue that has been forming now, and it seems to be doing okay. No signs of infection, or maybe you did it like super focused last time, or you're pretty impressed by your own stitchings. You did a very good job there. So
I had a good night's sleep.
Yes, you did, and it this is going to be well, you're pretty sure. So you slabber on whatever disinfectant stuff you have.
This will be a great scar.
And right now it looks like if he just takes it easy at least one more day, he can probably move around slightly at least. As long as he doesn't exert himself, he can move around because how good job you did with the stitches. And since there's no sign of
the stitches, or is there something in this man that is he healing really good? Is he a strong man? Is he a tough man? Or is it just the stitches?
You all saw it back in the room as well, and you saw it the first time also. This guy has a lot of scar tissue, okay? He has been through a lot of war and fighting and survived. You can see at least one or other scar that might even rival this one. If he survived through that one, you're pretty sure this guy can survive this one as well. So it's doing well. As I said, as long as he doesn't exert himself too much, these bandages will probably, be sticking on for a while, just to be giving support and keeping the, stuff or shit out of the wound.
I relay this information to you. You are doing so well, but you gotta take it easy. No trekking, at least tomorrow, hopefully, and you'll be fine and dandy and dancing and whooping around with the Indians. After I'm done with that, I shall take Father Gladstone to the library to check out what sort of books we have in possession, I guess.
It's just real close by. There's chairs inside there as well, so you can all sit in there if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I turn on my lamp so that everyone can see around and all. And what books do I have?
Actually, I'm looking for anything occult, alchemical, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
like everything about science.
You just sit in there with them, or you go in there with them? With them more? I'm talking to you. If you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. If you can repeat the question again.
I'm wondering, what do you do? Or just follow and listen?
Yeah, I'm currently following, tracking everyone's moves, and everyone can see that I'm thinking deeply, looking at the 3 people in turn as a thought occurs to my mind, and I'm currently silent.
Sure, he's just watching while you guys are searching through the books. So, yes, John Gladstone, you're looking for things on occultism and alchemy. How about you, James Eden? What are you looking for?
I mean, I want to know how many books do I have, and
As I said, you've got.
on what subject are those books are.
You don't even know all the subjects yourself because.
Some of them are gifts, I think you said.
Yes, some of them just sent up to the camp. You didn't get everything here immediately. Some of them were sent during the supply runs you get, and you've been in and out of
Yes.
all of your business, so you haven't had time to check all of it yourself.
And what do I have?
I can I'm not going to give you a full list of every book. Of course, there's too
Okay,
many books. But
well, since the Reverend is very insistent on finding books on alchemy and occultism, first I would like to see if there's any books on the elements and the like, as well as if I'm in possession of anything, remotely connected to the subject of Indian tribes, like maybe someone wrote a book about their languages, maybe someone wrote a book about their conflicts. So these two subjects, the occult and the Indians.
yeah, not too much about the Indians, as these guys are the first ones to really have connection to them. But there are a couple of books, religion, that is of course something you guys can call occult, unless it's Christianity, of course. Then it's paganism or as I said, occult stuff. And there is one book that has a bit of like a general field occultism kind of thing, with legends, and you're not too sure if this is supposed to be a book on like a fairy tale book, or a gathering of folk tales or occult rituals from all around the world and all that stuff. So there's at least one book.
That's very interesting. I definitely take that book. Like, we should study it. We should take a look at it.
Yeah, okay, you start sifting through it, James. As I said, there's tons of general stuff in here. It's a pretty big book as well.
Does it have pictures though?
Yeah, some of the pages have pictures on them, like small hand-drawn sketches. Not too. Some are detailed, some are less detailed.
Anything resembling a dog, a wolf, maybe a bear?
Of course, as I said, it's general folk tales, occultism, all that stuff. So, if you're referring to what you said about werewolves
Yes, sir.
last time, yes, you find a page about werewolves.
And what is written on it? Like, what can I discern from that page?
The general information about werewolves, like where in origin, silver, the full moon, all that stuff. Of course, the fact that they like eating hearts as well.
Does it mention if they turn back into humans, and if there is any way to discern if someone is one, other than, of course, waiting for them to transform in full moon?
2 seconds here. I just need to warn someone in chat here. Could you repeat that question?
Well, my question was: is there anything that that is stated in that page that details the process of discerning if someone is a werewolf when that person is in human form, other than waiting for the full moon for them to transform? Like, if there's any tests we can do to humans to see if they will change into something?
Apparently, if someone is werewolf, they would react to silver. It will harm them even in human form. Like it will.
Do I have silverware, or does the Lord Bittermore himself?
Both of you have silverware.
Then I'll go grab it.
And you also see, of course, that they will be unable to resist the full moon when that happens.
What is the moon's stage right now?
like how far along it is for it to become full moon?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
It's not something you necessarily go around remembering, but in about a small
I guess
week,
I can.
a small week from now, something like that,
All right.
like 5, 6, 7 days.
Did the book have anything about the markings I saw on the bone?
Okay, yeah, you guys are, it's just one book, so unless you guys are pulling the book back and forth, there's just
I
one
don't know.
guy.
I thought like he just opened it and
Yeah,
we
like,
both were looking
and
at
right
it.
now-
Yeah,
you-
like I went to get some silver, so I guess you can
Yeah.
just look at it.
Okay. Yes, you find a lot of as I said, there are small hand sketch stuff. You have to, and it's a big book, so you have to sift through a lot of it. And several pages you find like a symbolism throughout this and that religion, whatever. So it does take a lot of time to check for that. You're during the process right now. You have fetched your silverware, James Eden.
What is it? A fork, a knife, a spoon,
It's a
or
small
every one of
dining.
them?
It's a small dining set for a couple of people. Let's say 5 people. So you've got fork, spoon, and knife.
Yeah, okay. I'll just take them in one hand, and I'll just look at Mr. Boswick and do I have your permission, sir, to test out my theory?
Just don't cut me. I'll slap
Sure.
your face.
According
I'll
to the
just,
book, you shouldn't be, trying to, you shouldn't be. It doesn't need too much pressure to for a werewolf to react.
I'll just press the spoon against his skin, his hand, his arm, wherever is waveable.
No reaction. Well, it's just like you're holding it yourself.
I'll take the knife and I will slowly, push the knife towards his face. Like I'm not trying to kill him, of course. I'll just slowly try to push it towards his face in a bit of a threatening manner.
I'm
It's
starting
Yeah,
to.
definitely not going to kill him.
I'm starting to get aggravated. What are you doing, James?
Well, looks like that is out of the bag. I'll just, once again, gather my silverware and just put them aside.
Actually, Mr. Eden, if you kindly would donate that silverware to me, we may make some silver crosses for people to wear around their necks. It would prove a better protection against the occult, I think.
You probably have a silver cross as well.
No, for the other people, I mean.
Oh yeah, you want more silver crosses?
Of course, why not? He let me see his silverware.
When
So you're
did
going
the
to do it
priests start
yourself,
believing
Reverend?
in rumors of like this?
What?
Are you going to melt the silver and make the crosses yourself, Reverend?
I mean, if you want me to, I can be, hardworking.
I doubt you can shape it. Once our smith is a bit more cooperative and less agitated, I will be sure to donate a small portion of my silverware for this purpose. But for now,
Yeah.
I shall very much like to keep it, sir.
Vanity is a sin, James Eden. But we shall talk about this later.
Doctor, would you consider taking everyone in this camp through the silverware test of yours?
We can certainly do it, but if you don't do it in a quiet manner, I fear that the already ongoing nerve might cause a panic. Me touching people with silverware might be a bit weird. In the meantime, while we plan out how we might carry this test without causing panic and hysteria, I think I just removed the necklace. We shall each have a drawing of this, in case any of us, remembers, or if it happens and we lose this, we all have a drawing of it so that we remember how it looks like.
Well,
Okay, so
Doctor,
you-
I think you would be the best person to do the drawing yourself.
Can I do it? Do I have steady hands enough to make nice drawings? I mean, I'm a doctor, so I probably do.
Yep. So you pull out a couple, parchment, and start copying it up, and give one copy to each of these gentlemen.
Yes.
Of the bone, right?
Yeah, the Bone Talisman. So maybe if any of you remembers something about it, or if it happens and I lose this, we at least still have a copy, and we can ask around.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor, did you consider the theory that perhaps being in possession of this bone talisman could do some harm to the person?
I was thinking about the same thing.
I actually did give it a few thoughts, but if Mr. Boswick is to be believed, this talisman, this thing, seems to be a little bit of a wanderer, since it just ended up on his chest, and he says he has no recollection of how or when. So I just wanted to keep it on my person. If any of you, such as someone with high convictions like the Reverend Gladstone here, would like to take charge of it, I'd gladly depart from it. As I said, I just wanted to keep it on my person to ensure its utmost safety. Because this is a clue now of the ongoing problems we face. As I said, I'm willing to give it up if any one of you would like to carry the burden.
Okay, then bring it out here, and I will closely study it with the drawings I'm seeing on the book.
Yes, Father. Here you go.
My eyes are failing me. I'm so old. Dang it.
I mean, you are, as I said, you're feeling a lot better, but you are still tired, and it is getting very late. The rest of the camp is going to bed right now. Might be better to, continue this investigation in the morning, when you're all rested and ready for it.
Can I have a word with Lord Dane Withermore in private before we retire?
Before we retire, can I borrow that book from you? I would like to take it to my chapel.
It is
Do I have a bed I can give to Father Gladstone?
You
can
only
I
have one guest
accommodate?
room.
So one bed for him, one bed for Bostwick in the infirmary, and I probably also have a bed.
You have one guest room upstairs, as I said, and you've donated that one to Dane Withermore here now, as I remember. But, yes, you have infirmary beds. They're not the best beds, and they will be staying downstairs here instead. So, yeah.
Rather, I would feel much more safer if the book stayed here, in case anything happened. But it shall stay on that table, and whenever you want, you can come and check up on it.
Well,
You don't
I think
trust me, James Eden. I lived up to this stage through all the hardships, and you're it's disgraceful. What did the youth come to?
Hey, John.
Father, it would be nice to have you close by to the doctor in case there's any more questions that you would want to ask him. And I would not want to endanger your safety as well by letting you stay outside near the church. So here, at least the bonfire will be close by, and if any support is needed for anyone, I think we can group up much quicker.
Well, if a devil is going to come around and hunt me, he shall find it with my utmost conviction. I shall not let it be so. I'm just going to sleep on my own bed, comfortably as ever.
Does he leave the talisman and the book behind, though?
It's your book,
I just take a drawing so your hearts can be at ease.
And I'm like,
youngsters.
John, you gonna help me to my barracks?
No. You shall stay here tonight.
Okay. But my bed
you
is
didn't
so
like
much
the
better.
bed here, so yeah.
I did like it.
No, you didn't like it.
Yeah, I know.
Much better.
Can I make it more comfortable for him in any way? I mean, I just literally finished saying you should not move around, and he wants to move around again.
It's just a small walk over there. You guess, as I said, as long as he doesn't exert himself over there, it should be fine.
And if John can help me.
We shall let him go then.
John, you want to help me over there?
Yeah, of course. Why not, Boswick? You should decide on a new roommate there. Wouldn't want you to be alone.
He
I
has
have Gabriel.
Two more. Gabriel
he has two more.
and
All right.
Miles Johnson.
I
He's
thought
only
it was
missing
just
one guy.
too bad.
Yeah.
All right.
only. Like
That's fine.
25% of his roommates are missing. But okay,
Do you like
John
that you
Gladstone.
rate them in percentage?
So John Gladstone here helps Willem back to his barrack, and then you go back to bed yourself. You're in your own room.
Yeah, and while on the road, I just tell the Botswick about, look at this Eden guy. He thinks he's like the pagan magic is going to work on you. What crap? And then I just go to my bed.
Okay, if that's the case, I'll mute.
I just want to say, okay, Boomer at this, but I won't.
But you can't because you're not here.
I'll mute you, John Gladstone, and Willem Bostwick, and we'll do a
Alright.
little scene with James Eden and Dane with more hair. 2 seconds, boys. I just need to check something.
Yes, sir.
And we should be ready again. Those 2 boys are now muted. Go ahead, you boys are alone in your office right now.
Doctor, I think we need to talk about your sleeping problems as well.
Yes, my lord, we shall indeed talk about that, and perhaps we might touch upon the subject of the powder as well.
Do you have any more information that you can give about how this situation has occurred?
Honest to God, I have no idea. It has been kept there all along. It has never been unlocked by anyone other than me, as far as I'm aware. And as I said just the day before, there was no problems with it. I gave out 2 rifles. I gave out their shots and powder. And the second we need more of it, it's just wet and useless. I am as surprised as you are, and I seriously cannot fathom how it occurred. How something like that could happen overnight while it was under lock and key.
Would you let me have the key to make it more secure for the rest of the equipment, although the important part is gone?
I want to ask this out of the conversation right now. He also has the warehouse key, correct?
I do,
the,
yes.
He is the only one with the warehouse key. So
And I'm the only one with the powders
you
and
are the only
armor.
one with the key to your own house, and there's a separate key to the armory as well. So he is the only one with keys to the warehouse and his own rooms.
My lord, I might offer a suggestion. I certainly have no qualms about granting you the key itself, but I prefer if we each kept a spare, so maybe the smith can make us one more, and you have a key, and I have a key of the armory. And if anyone wonders about the purpose, we might just quote the developing situation. Just to be safe, we decided to have 2 keys.
You're not sure if it is within his capabilities right here as well. He is not that kind of a smith, but yeah, it might take some time and tries to make it right. It's not that easy just copying a key here.
It would be one more key to keep track of, so I would prefer that we have only one for now. And as for the situation, as there are no other clues as to what might have happened to the gunpowder in the middle of the night, I am forced to accuse you of either knowledge, either pre-planned or unplanned, either in your way to sabotage the camp somehow, or perhaps to relieve your mind of your whatever worry in your sleepwalking state. I do suspect that you may have done something about it, as you have the only key to it. Unless we have any knowledged lockpickers around in this camp, which I don't think so, then there is no other possibility for how this situation might have occurred.
I do agree that I only have the one key, but as I keep saying, I did give out powder. I did give out shots. And all of a sudden, right after the attack, the powder goes wet. just like Mr. Boswick finding this effigy on his chest, which we placed no accusations of, yet here you are accusing me, who
I
is
do have
trying his
enough.
best to keep the camp together, doling out enough shots and powder to everyone without trying to cause a panic, and treating our best man in the field, which is Mr. Boswick. I am
Um,
sorry, my lord, but I am at a loss of speech.
Well, on this topic, I must agree that you have helped out the camp enough times that I cannot immediately assign any punishment to you. But do keep in mind that you have been warned, and if any other situation that cannot be attributed to anyone else but you occurs, then I will have to do something about it. So I would suggest that you do keep this situation more seriously, as we have already lost, well, one man, and one man is missing. There are enough worries going on that I do not want your possible sleepwalking problems to cause any further situations.
What about your alcoholism, my lord? Do you think it has caused us no trouble to this point? And can you promise that you can keep it under control when an ongoing situation might force you to stay awake for a few more days and off the booze itself? Do you think the camp can trust your leadership when you're under the effects of the spirits?
Well, I would say that this is not a situation that requires drinking yet, as I most likely do it when there is a situation to celebrate. Do keep in mind that the welfare of this camp and the safety of its people is my utmost goal. And if anything happens that threatens it, then I will do whatever is necessary to stop that, my own problems included.
Which is, I 100% agree with you, and is also my goal. But we each have been given a key. Perhaps to ensure that everyone shared responsibility, perhaps because proper distribution of power was necessary. And I do understand that you want to confiscate my key. And as I said it, I volunteer to have it copied and give that one to you. But I will not give the sole key to the armory to you.
Alright then. I will not do anything right now to put you in further worry about what might the situation be, but once all of this business is over, do know that this situation and your contributions to it will be noted. Unless you can point any other suspects to how this might have occurred.
Then I shall spend the night trying to pinpoint my actions and looking for clues as to whose fault it might be that the powder is wet.
Also on the topic, you mentioned that you did not get enough sleep when you found out that the powder was wet. What are your problems with sleeping, Doctor?
I will tell you, my lord, on the condition that since I am bearing my heart before you, and telling you something that I've never told anyone in this camp, I also expect compensation in return to prove that there is a bond of trust between us.
That can be arranged.
Can I shake his hand as a gentleman to, to ensure that I obtain that promise? I'll tell him my problem, and he tells me his problem.
Sure.
And I extend my hand to you. Do we have any drinks here in my place, like maybe a bourbon, maybe some wine? Okay, then I pour us each a small glass of whatever we have at hand. Light my lamp, and we probably, sit across from each other. Well, you do know of my beginnings and my familial connections, I believe, my lord.
Well, I think it would be nice if you could re-elaborate how this affects you.
Well, I come from a distinctive but not noble family, and I was raised for good things, as my father would like to say. When I was appointed here, when I came at the relief ship, I was very confident in my abilities to be able to adapt to this climate, to this lifestyle. I relied on my accumulated skills to survive in this environment and perhaps even thrive. But as of late, I found myself missing back home a lot. I also find myself unable to focus at times, which affects my sleep. I have some wanderings at night times, but I can assure you that none of them have been dangerous. It's more like absence-mindedness.
Are
For
you sure that
example-
you are not taking any medication yourself, Doctor?
I am pretty certain if there was anything to cure my sleep illness, I would have definitely taken it.
All right. Well, if you would like, then I can assign my assistant to come here and keep an eye on you if you are to be found sleepwalking, or we can assign someone from camp to stay here.
That could
So that-
certainly be arranged.
All right.
Right now, you're supposed to be staying here as well yourself, if that's still the
Yes.
plan.
That is the current
Just
plan
little-
right now.
Just little, small little detail question here.
Yeah.
Do both of you drink?
I don't.
Well, it's just a small glass, so I slowly sip it, but I do not intend to finish it. I also
No.
check, why is he not drinking? I'm trying to see if there's a particular reason he's not touching his glass. Or if he will
If-
explain it to me, as the gentleman promised.
If he asks me, then I will say, well, the situation is dire enough that I want to keep a clear head. And if it happens that if there are no solutions to be found and nothing to be done about the situation, then be assured that I will be the first one to drink.
My lord, have you ever considered the possibility of sabotage in the camp?
Absolutely, among many other situations.
I do not mean, as you stated on my part, you did put an accusation, you did lay an accusation at my door about the powder. Has it ever occurred to you that it might have been someone else who might be aware of my sleep problems? I am well aware that I have not been very good at hiding it.
Well, having someone keep an eye on you and someone who can be trusted is the best approach right now, I would say.
Yes, but aside from that, did you ever think to lay the blame on someone about the powder situation, which might be revealed to the entire camp at some point? And should you put me in jeopardy, and maybe under lock and key, you might lose your second in command, as well as your doctor, if you catch my meaning about the accusation.
I am aware of the situation, and this is the reason why I am speaking to you right now about this topic in private. If there were any accusations to be made in public right now, if I was sure that it was you, then be assured that this topic this talk would not have been done only between the two of us.
What I'm trying to say, my lord, is to accuse someone within a few days so that we can move past the powder issue without a mass panic. And we
Well,
do have someone convicted.
If you are looking for a scapegoat, there are enough scapegoats that can be found in the camp, but I do not want to lose any single one person right now.
Which is why you should choose someone who is harming the entire process with countless questioning and, meddling in affairs of others.
Who would you say this person is?
I shall not name any names. It is just a matter of observation between us. That we appoint
done.
that person, whoever is hindering our authority, shall also be responsible in re-granting it to us, if you catch my meaning. I'm not
If-
naming any names. I'm just
if-
saying that we shall be on the lookout for such person.
if we can point a single finger at whatever is the cause between the murders and the missing people, then this might be possible. Right now, we have no clues about what might be the direct solution to this.
As you wish, my lord.
I do have enough solutions in mind. Do keep in mind that there are rumors going on in this camp about cannibalism as well.
About what?
Cannibalism. In the past, not right now. But I would not put it behind our people right now that this situation is, well, occurring because of that. I would, although not being a man of the books myself, I would suggest that you, Doctor, keep an eye out for a similar thread of questioning as well.
And about the silver test, do you have any suggestion? How shall we proceed? I might just suggest a general checkup on everyone. To
we do
maybe
have a silver cross, as it might happen, from the father. We might appoint him to, bless everyone.
That is possible, and it might also raise the morale of the camp a little bit, a blessing from the father, the silver cross. But that proceeding should definitely happen when we have at least 2 muskets present, just to be safe.
Alright, also, would you mind discussing the situation of the father's illness as well? Would you say that it is infectious?
Do I know if it's infectious? As far as I know, it's. I'm asking to the GM right now. As far as I know, he should not have.
You've seen him become ill several times. You suspect it might be just a bit of age and the hardship he has gone through. You haven't ever seen it be contagious, so you're not. And as well, he seems to be recovering almost to 100% right now. So no.
Well, my lord, as far as I know, the father has had it almost his whole life, almost 10 years, I would say, since he came here. Never ever at its affect anyone around him, and I, always assisted him. The members, the workers in the camp assisted him. It shows no sign of being contagious.
Alright then, on to another question. Do you think that the hair that we found on the hunter himself could be a result of him being close by to the creature?
Could you repeat your question, please?
Well, I'm saying that as he has seen the creature in his words, if you have to trust his words, then it might have happened that a single piece of hair from this creature might have fell on him.
It is a likely possibility. I do not really like to take credence in these legends, myths, and what was the word father used? Occults! But we should not put it behind anyone or anything, because in my entire life I have never seen an animal that was clever enough to, open someone's ribcage and devour its heart. So I am naturally suspecting that if this creature, if it is a creature, is a little bit contagious. So I do have reason to suspect that Mr. Boswick might have been infected by the same thing. Since we found a bloody mangle of fur and we find a clean bundle of fur, it stands to reason that it might be Mr. Boswick himself that shed it. But as to any guarantee on that subject, I have none. And it might have happened just as you said. It might just have fallen onto his bed. But when I examined him, he came in fully clothed, and he did undress. I made his wounds, and there was nothing around my infirmary that fell from him. No fur. Shouldn't it stand to reason that if it was on his person, when he undressed and lay on my bed, wouldn't it be found here instead of his own bedchamber 1 day later?
Well, he has not gone to his own bed, has he? That's a good
He
question.
did.
Well, alright, then another question of mine. Do you think that the hunter has transformed into this creature, as he was the only one outside the camp?
He might have, or having come into contact with that beast
Started to
creature,
transform. Alright.
it is just a safety precaution. I certainly do not want to see our best man turning into an enemy, but I do have my suspicions, and I like to keep an open mind.
On to another subject then. Would you recommend going out to this cave that this person is, the missing person, might have gone to? We might arrange an expedition so that we know that there are no other clues that might be found out there.
We might certainly try that, but if such an expedition is to be undertaken, we shall require a lot of men, and all these men will want muskets. Muskets we cannot give them, which brings us back to the question of accusing someone of the powder situation.
Well, then, if you are so eager to do it, give me a name and I will think about it. I will not be the one to, well, make the situation more complicated right now.
Then I shall think about it tonight, and I shall give you a name in the morning.
Alright.
As well as, hopefully you will declare a blessing tomorrow so that we can do the silver test as well.
In the morning. Then, on to another question. Well, a suggestion, perhaps. Rather than thinking about these subjects, I would recommend that you get a good sleep, Doctor. If you would prefer, I could arrange your door to be, well, tied up by myself, in case you are to wander about. Then we will make sure that there is someone awake and following you.
Just to, clarify, what you mean is we're going to tie us, like, we're going to be tied to each other?
Or we could just tie your door to any other object and make sure that it either makes a noise or is harder for you to open up in your sleepwalking state.
It is possible. I could certainly consent to that. We can place a contraption on my door that might hurt me or maybe make enough noise to wake me up. And since you'll be sleeping right next to me, worst case, you'll wake up. I do consent to that. We can do that.
Alright then, if business here is finished, I will make sure that the warehouse is safely locked up right now, as that is another worry of mine, and then come back here to sleep.
Yes, my lord. Certainly.
Yeah, so you go check your warehouse. Everything is locked and soundly kept there. No worries. You did that before
Alright.
you left. You almost always do that anyways, like just subconsciously. You're very afraid that the workers will get in there like they did last time.
Alright.
And
I will also like to get some rope
Yeah.
or some objects that can fall if the door is opened.
give me 2 seconds, by the way. And yeah, if that's it, you guys fix some contraption stuff out on his door or tie it up, and you both go to bed. As you go outside, by the way, you can feel the air is getting a bit more chilly. The rain stopped a bit more, but it seems to be getting colder. Of course, it is going into autumn right now, but seems like it might be colder than anticipated right now. I'll pull the boys back into the conversation, and we.
Can I ask something before you pull them back?
Like just in private, or with him here as well?
Actually, if it's private, just for 1 second, I'll be very happy.
Okay, be right back.
It's not going to take too long.
No, yeah, let's be quick about it.
What's his lackey's name? What is the
lackey?
name? Yeah, he had an ass viper following him around.
Yeah,
And
that's
other than that,
Matthew
do we have
Lidford.
anyone useless?
Matthew Lidford is the lackey, the suck up. You have a bit of a guy that you've shown a bit. He has had some a bit of medical experience, like field doctor kind of thing in war. A guy called Philip Cromwell. So
Okay.
you've been in the days off when nothing is happening, or in the evenings. Sometimes it's been a while since the last time, but this guy you've been training a bit with him.
I said someone that is useless. You are giving me the
useless,
most.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of the most
sorry.
useful guys ever.
There are plenty of useless guys on in your mind here in camp. Just bunch of the normal workers. You just want a name, or
Yeah, I just want a name that I can suggest to Lord Whitmore.
as a scapegoat?
Yeah. Yes, as a scapegoat that we can easily lay blame on, and just someone that no one in particular really likes, and is useless to us.
Yeah, Robert Keane.
Robert Keane.
Yeah.
Useless guy. Okay, thank you. You can pull everyone back up.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go back with everyone. And we are pulling everyone back in here. It is morning. Are you back, Stone Owl? Yeah, I can see you coming back here.
I'm here.
So you all wake up for the regular little triangle or bell. It sounds the breakfast in. It is Friday morning now, and this is supposed to be Friday morning, and you're all going for breakfast. You can all feel the same as sorry, Dane Withermore felt. It's getting colder. Like the air is a bit foggy. The rain has more or less stopped, but it's getting colder. Maybe even a bit colder than it usually is around these times. But autumn is kicking in, and as I said, the weather around here is unstable sometimes, and especially, of course, in the autumn. And you all gather up for breakfast. And if you guys want to, you can still have spot open for Wilhelm up on the leader's table, unless
I
of
vote
course
that he is with us. My vote is on him sitting with us.
you do feel better. He changed the bandages. You saw it yourself. It's not open wounds or anything, so you're good to go with moving around without someone. Of course, maybe just the first trip, so you get a bit warmed up in your body, but you decide yourself if you want to sit up with them or just sit down with the boys.
Today I'll just sit down with the boys.
As
I mean, it's my people, so.
But there is actually a bit of cheering when you enter because yesterday you got breakfast served at the infirmary, right? And now you're coming in here with just a bit of support, nothing else, and sitting down with the guys once again, and you can see this clearly has a bit of effect on morale, and everyone sees this as well. Willem Bostwick, the hunter militia captain, is back on his feet, and nothing is going to keep him down. And there, some of them might do a little hurrah or whoop. And breakfast is served. It's the usual boring porridge. So nothing special there.
Actually, I would like to take the spot left open by the runner guy. I forgot the name. Sorry.
Okay, so you go down from the leader's table and sit down with Willem Bostwick.
Boys.
Yeah, I don't rise up. Actually, I just go down with my common folk.
Sure. Of course,
My
to make room
lord.
for the priest.
My lord, should you announce the blessing we planned?
Well, Father, I think it might be a nice idea for you to get your silver cross and bless everyone in turn here.
For this conversation to take place, we need to go down, though.
Yeah, but we can
Yeah,
just say
I'm just
John
like saying this
Gladstone
to Father.
does
Yeah.
the normal, bless this breakfast, and as the men prepare for field work as usual, you guys can have a small little conversation together. If you want to include everyone, all 4 players there, go ahead. But it's up to you.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
I suppose it's normal because this guy can't work right now, anyways. He has to take it a bit easy, and the men, they do
yeah.
wonder what's the plan right now.
After like 5 minutes or so of him getting between his people and making small chats, I will make a hand gesture to Wilhelm and call him up if he wants to.
Yeah,
After
it seems
we-
like the leaders want to engage in a small private conversation with all 4 of you.
All right, I'll go up.
You too, John Gladstone?
I'm not sure.
Well, it seems like he
Well-
wants to talk to you.
Well, how much does he want to talk to me? Okay,
Hello?
I got this.
Are you going to be difficult?
Yeah, no. Okay, I'm just going away to their place. Yeah.
Okay,
My
the
place,
breakfast
of
is
course.
over. Now it's just a conversation.
All right, Father. I think that it might be the best idea for you to bless everyone here in turn with your silver cross, just to make sure that everyone is safe and sound in their minds about this situation.
I have a better idea, my lord Dane Mittermore. We should continue building our church so the god can bless them all simultaneously and not have to act through me, such a measly vessel.
By the way, GM, how much time would it take for us to finish the church if everyone started to work on it at the same time?
About 2 days, you suppose. Like the way things are planned right now, you were supposed to, it's Friday today, Saturday tomorrow is, City Day, and James Eden is in control. Unless something else came up, it was supposed to be continuation of the church. And if everyone kicks in and works, you can do it in 2 days. That's the next 2 Saturdays. But of course, if you drop the today's plans and work today and tomorrow as well, you finish the church. But you are getting heavily disrupted in the plantation work right now. You've lost a lot of production at a very, very valuable time. So of course you wouldn't break the rules, or you haven't broken the rules of how time is divided amongst you, but you'd actually rather really have them work on the plantation on Saturday as well. That's the optimal to get back on track. But yeah, that's the situation right now.
I'm open for bribes.
I will turn towards the doctor and say, Doctor, would you accept taking your day in as well to work on the plantations as well? We are short on men and we have spent a lot of time moving around, and perhaps this might be the occasion for your plan to work out as well.
So, you have been little conniving mice, haven't you?
No, we are trying to make sure that everyone here in camp is safe and secure, and it is my utmost goal that everyone here is well both in their pockets, in their bodies, and in their
Well,
minds.
I shall have to say this once, and one time only, my lord. If you build this church, their faith will be uplifted. They will be, lifted of their burdens spiritually. They would work harder. Maybe, even, they would be ensured that this devil, whatever the heart-eating Satan thing we have against ourselves, may even be scared of such a place of holiness. So, I would like you to reconsider. Would you like your shipments to arrive as, on the clock? Or would you like to, take a little bit of hiccup?
Well,
just
Father,
a
do
tiny
keep
bit,
in mind.
1 week of it. And let me remind you, I have some, people in Jamestown that I can send words to.
Well, Father, do keep in mind that if the work here is interrupted for long enough, it might be that all of us are not here anymore, or, well, some of us might not be here anymore. And if the situation here can be, well, attributed to supernatural creatures and weird, I don't know, magic or Indian stuff or whatever, then I'm sure that this place will be marked as cursed, no matter we build the church or not. So I think it would be best right now
You would
to...
deny these workers a sacred place to huddle into. You would just deny them this, right? Okay then. I guess I'm just making some decisions up in my mind about you, Lord
It's-
Bane Withermore.
It is all an issue of timing. I only wish we had more men and more time, and we had not been losing people every single day for the last 2 days right now. So
Do you want the flock to be scared or hopeful?
well, there is something that we can do in the upcoming 15 minutes to half an hour, and there is something that we can do in 2 days, and, well, I will make sure that both of them gets done in their due time. So, if you wouldn't mind, Father, please do ease their minds until the church is built.
And when will that be?
Well, when you have the time, take your...
Like, do I have to ask the Indians, the natives around us, to come help us building this church? Do you want me to do this?
Well, if you can convert them, you are free to do so.
Well, I guess you leave me no choice. I shall pack my things and go on a journey tomorrow. Boswick, would you like to, if you're feeling up to it tomorrow in the morning, would you like to come with me to
would
the
be
natives?
Traveling 5 days just to get there.
Yes, of course, why not?
Are you mad, John? Are you alright?
I don't know, like someone is like putting stone in front of my road and my carriage is all too broken to go through it.
I
Can
do
I
not
say a few
recommend
words?
you going that far, John. Just have patience. We'll get there.
Like
Can I
2
say a few
years,
words to the
Boswick. I
father?
waited for 2 years. Yes,
Well-
James. What do you want to talk about?
I want to speak to you in Latin, though. Should the GM indulge us?
You lawyer screen time, don't you?
I can do that, but make it quick, okay?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, you're speaking in Latin right now.
Yes.
Yay.
Father, I can help you with your designs so long as you help me with my designs.
What
I
do
do
you need?
wholeheartedly agree with your arguments at the church, but there are also other factors to consider. So work with me, and I'll work with you. That's all I say. I'll just switch back to English.
Okay.
By the way, when someone is talking in a different language in front of you, you are allowed to watch the cameras as usual. Just in case any of you just put it down. Just see body language and all that stuff. Apparently, you can see them and hear them talking in a different language, Latin. None of you have,
And
experience
I
with
just
it.
ended with, I shall consider this.
In English.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are still there together.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I'm
main
not
thing
going
is,
for a trip for 5 days. That's out of the question.
I thought you would you were missing your friends, natives. The ones you spent too much time with.
Well, still, okay. That's your opinion. Well, I need to heal my wounds, so
Yes, of
I'm not
course,
doing
why
that
not?
for now. I mean, we have a situation here. We're not going to another camp. Yes.
Have we heard about the second search party?
The second search party came back. They came back the same night. Nothing else was found. No, the tracks
Yeah,
keep
all
just
right.
leading north.
Yeah, I missed that. Okay.
Should we have them go up and check out that cave just to see by the entrance, or see if they could figure out something? I mean,
Called
it's
Mother Well for a
daylight.
reason,
Or...
Boswick.
Hmm?
It's called Mother Well for a reason. Don't force them into it.
No, they don't have to go in. They just have to look at it. Maybe
You
it
trust
them, I
serves
guess.
some purpose.
Going up there is, a couple of hours, like two, maybe three for you, since you're in a bad shape. But you could probably just take it very easy, going up there and come back, in good time. This is very early in the morning. Remember, the sun is rising right now, so. Taking it very slowly, you could reach that. That.
So you think I could manage?
If you take it very easy, yes.
But
So-
Mr. Boswick, Father, with respect, if we were to send people out there, they would ask for more muskets.
No, I was thinking about bringing Gabriel with me. He has a musket. And
Just two of you?
well, if you could spare more, Dane, you're the one who runs the business.
I wish we had not been losing people this fast, and I wish that we had not been, well, forced to guard our hands and guard the area here.
I do want to
then-
suggest that we bring John as well, so he can cleanse whatever
Yes, of
evil
course.
that will come
Like-
out of the cave.
It has hell in
I mean,
it, like the name.
John
How
Gladstone
can I
isn't,
not come?
a part, a part of the regular work crew, so he has no obligations to the work itself on the plantation.
Isn't the same true of me? I also do not have obligation to work in the plantation. Theoretically, I just have to mend
And you
people's
are your
wounds.
own boss as well, so you decide what you do.
Do I work there? Well, I'm hurt, so.
Yes, you're
You're the
50-50.
security.
Like you
Oh.
the most you do for the camp most of the time is hunt down game, right?
Yeah, the animals, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But you also check the perimeter, and sometimes when there's a lot of heavy load work, you help in a bit. But most of the time you help bringing in food.
So I would say this is a mostly prioritized task for me to do regarding the camp. So yeah.
And the
This is
four
a
of us
breach
could
of
go,
territory.
actually.
I know that I should check it out, but I need someone with me.
And you probably need at least one torch
volunteer.
if you're going to go inside and check, because even though there's daylight, there won't be light inside the cave.
Do we have any torches left?
Yeah, you have 2 torches left. You used up the other ones.
Didn't we command them to make some torches?
Yeah, we did
You were-
command
you
them
were
to make
considering-
some makeshift bed torches.
Yeah, you were considering it, but you didn't do it because you did make the
Oh.
bonfire instead.
Yeah.
We have 2 lamps, I guess, as well. Was it 1 or 2?
2. But you don't have too much oil. Like, you can, spare 1 if you want to, but a torch is better for lighting inside a cave anyways.
Well, if you would permit us, my lord, the 4 of us, Father Gladstone, Mr. Boswick, Mr. Hayes, and myself, alongside with a torch, I think we should check this cave out while the workforce tries their best to continue on with the process of,
Well, then we will need someone.
plantationing.
We will need someone here to, well, take care of the camp as well.
Which is you, my lord.
Yes,
I
Wilhelm,
could,
would you recommend Gabriel as a trustable man?
I would totally recommend him. Totally.
You know him to be. They are best friends.
Yeah. That would be no problem. But I do wish for
Would you prefer to keep him in the search party that will go to the caves, or would you like to keep him here to keep this place safe?
I
If
want
you
him
were
to
yeah.
stay there. Yeah, I want him to stay at the camp, but I also want a musket and a sword for myself.
So
That can be
because
arranged,
using
and
a-
we should get one
Yeah.
more armed man.
So Willem, if you were to be, too tired or hurt again of anything, the only guy who can reasonably track is Gabriel, though.
So he can find me if everything goes to hell. Or mouth hell, or whatever we call the cave.
Mouth of hell.
So I think it's a good idea to keep one. Yeah. Like we said.
Okay,
Also,
so
a quick question, by the way.
Is it just you three then, or do you grab?
We should get one more guy with us, with another man. To
I have
Yes.
my.
assist you.
Yeah,
Well, I
Yeah.
have my other roommate.
yeah, Miles Johnson.
So many
Do you
roommates.
trust him?
Yeah, I trust him.
Did you like you trusted your other roommate?
Well, he was just my roommate, so I didn't know him that well. But yeah, I mean, until now, I trust him. If we find him, I do have a lot of questions. But again,
Okay.
we have to figure it out what happened, or yeah, if he's still alive. I don't know.
Okay. My lord, can I speak to him private just a second? While Mr. Boswick prepares himself and Father Gladstone also prepares himself.
All right.
I shall
Before- okay,
hand over
so-
some of my responsibilities to you since I'm also going off.
So before we do that, if do you want to do that in private, I guess. I'm just going to have a small conversation with John Gladstone first, and then with Wilhelm, and then I'll come back to you guys, both of you.
Okay.
So
Okay. Then I'll just.
I'll mute everyone except John Gladstone for a short while. Father Gladstone, 2 seconds.
Yes.
Just give me 2 seconds.
All right.
Okay, we are back. Need to check a message. So, as you go outside, you probably, have to change clothes and into travel clothes as well if you're going up to that cave.
Yeah, I
Maybe
wouldn't
bring your cross
go
or
in-
something like that.
With my roots, I would bring my cross and my kind of walking stick around with me.
Yeah.
Um,
As you come back to your place, by the way, you can see Thomas Bide waiting outside. He is clearly looking, waiting for you, and he wants to talk to you.
Was it a Smith?
No, it was the guy that said he witnessed the Indian. The native.
Right. Yeah.
Father, can I talk to you for a couple of minutes?
Of course, my child. Come into my house.
I need to have a small confession.
Of course, like you can have that in the privacy of my house. Come on.
Yeah, that's what you have been doing so far as well.
Yeah.
And you come inside, and you can clearly see he is, a bit, red-faced, and clearly there's something on his mind. And he does, the regular, Father, forgive me, I have sinned. I've spread a lie.
Lying is a sin, my child, but God is merciful. Like, if you are, as you're doing right now, confessing it, and you're shameful of it.
A lot of the guys here in camp, including me, were of course worried about the situation going on, and there's so many signs pointing to this being the Indians, the natives, right? Attacking Wilhelm and doing those weird things. And one of the other ones also said you found some Indian trinket or something in Wilhelm's belongings. I guess I messed up, Father, because I never saw a native up there in the mountains. I guess I just really wanted it to be so, because who else could it be, right? Who else is doing this?
Yeah, it was a
this stuff?
sane decision to come to.
And
You should
you know,
be.
I didn't necessarily just say. I mean, yes, of course I
You,
did, but
you should rest easy. You should rest easy.
uh,
You are just making a logical statement out of it. Understand?
yes, but it's still a lie because I didn't see anyone. I really just maybe I guess I just wanted it to be that because
Did
it
you
feels to be true,
see a shadow, an animal,
N-
or nothing at
no,
all?
nothing at all, Father. I just wanted Sir James Eden to take our plead for a gun seriously, because why, Father? Why is he not helping us arm ourselves against this danger? I know we have you and God protecting us. I really do, but God gave us power to use these weapons for a reason, right? And He gave us the strength to defend ourselves. And right now, Sir James, forgive me, Father, is not giving us what we're asking for. Just a chance to defend ourselves. That's it.
My
I guess
child,
that's
let
why
me
I lied.
say to you one thing. God may have gave that things to us. Actually, he did, yes. But he also told us to be merciful, right? These Indians, they don't have those advantages against us. They are savage. They are pagans. They don't know the true belief, as you know it. So we must teach them with compassion, with mercy, not with firearms, with war. No.
But are we not supposed to defend ourselves and save our lives so we can save their souls?
If push comes to shove, you turn the other cheek. If then again, yes, you may try to do so, but still,
I
you
won't.
should always seek a better path for yourself.
But no, I won't. I won't meddle. I'm just worried since he didn't want to give us guns. But I won't take up your time, Father. Thank you for the confession, and I'm really sorry. I've been praying, and I will continue to pray for forgiveness from the Lord as well.
Rest easy, my child. Whatever has befallen us, we will surpass it. Believe in it.
Okay, so he goes back to work, and you pick up your clothes and your stick, and you come back to the others. I'll take a small little conversation with Willem before, and so
Okay.
just be waiting around. Stone Elf, or I mean Wilhelm.
Who is this stone elf?
It is you, sorry, Willem Bostwick. Of course,
Yes.
you go outside and you talk to Gabriel about, taking care of the camp. And of course, he meets you outside and, okay, so what's going on? What's the plans?
I'm taking some of the guys up to check this. Just to continue with the trail. Perhaps check the cave out if they go there.
Oh, you're going yourself?
Yeah, I'm bringing the other guys.
Who are the guys?
The doctor and the reverend.
The father and the doctor, are they going up there? Why wouldn't you just pull someone like us along with you? They can't
Well,
fight.
it's important. I know, but I can do a little struggle of myself. I'll bring us musket and
You're pretty hurt, buddy.
I'm getting better, man. And I need a best one to take care of this camp. That's the most
Isn't
important.
that you?
That's you. You're the best
No,
man
that's you.
when I leave. Stop complimenting me.
But okay, so who are you bringing? Just those two?
No, I'm bringing my other roommate as well.
Miles Johnson. He's probably
Yes.
nearby as well.
So
Me? He goes. What?
Hmm?
Okay. Miles, he'd probably join in on the conversation as well. Like your roommates are waiting outside. I mean, you're sure if you need me, I'll come along. But you sure you don't want more people with you?
I think that will be a
I can see you need some time. I just
few seconds.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, real life happens to everyone.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No, don't worry. As a little detail, by the way, when you're standing outside there talking before you go back to your, as probably going back to your quarters to get your stuff, traveling cloak, since it's getting colder and all that, you can see as the priest is going back to his place, Thomas Bide is waiting there for him as well. He clearly wants to talk to the father, and he joins him back to his place. Thomas Bide is the guy from the beginning who say he saw the native guy up in the mountain.
Ah, yeah, okay. Well, I've observed it. I don't think I want to do anything about it for now, other than observing it.
Yeah, and you of course fill in Gabriel and Miles about this. Miles will probably take one of the other rifles that has been delivered out and bring. You probably have a sword actually yourself, something like that, since from the war. A sword.
Yeah, I should have one.
Yeah, the bow is probably too dangerous for you to use now, based on the movement, right? Better with a rifle, but you are starting to feel better. You are able to move around as long as you don't exert yourself. If you need to exert yourself, I'm just going to say it right now. You probably need to use points, unless you want to damage yourself. But right now, you're feeling good enough to just be walking around in a leisurely tempo. As long as you don't stress. So you make everything ready, and if you don't have anything else you need to put in on details right now, I'll jump to the other guys and make sure we can all take that journey together. You have anything else? Okay, then I'll take their scene. And you are back. Yes, you see both the priest and everyone else leaves the food court right now. It's just you two.
Okay, I'm assuming they're preparing for the journey? Okay, my lord, as we have discussed in the evening, or the night rather, I did come up with 2 names for you.
Alright.
Now I can see you much better, my lord. Part
Thanks.
of your head was missing there. One of them is Robert Keane, someone who there's no connection, no one in particular likes him, and I mean, between you and me, he's a pretty useless guy. I mean, yeah, he does some labor, but he does not excel at it. I don't think anyone would miss him. And the other one is a bit more closer to heart, and therefore much easier to convince should you decide to go on that path. It is your close associate, Mr. Matthew Litford. Just a few words from you, and that man will take the fall. And you know it very well.
That's your valet, right? The guy who's your suck-up.
Yeah.
I will, of course, actually let you have the last word on this subject, but I have, as I promised, pondered on the subject and came up with these 2 names.
Can we be sure that they have no other, they don't have anyone else that can make sure that they could not have done it? If the situation happens and we blame someone for this, and it turns out that this person was unable to be anywhere near you, then it will all go, topsy-turvy.
Well, in this case, your associate, your valet, is the obvious choice. You can just, do this, and he can just be anywhere at any time, upon acting on your wishes. Robert Keane fellow, he might have a few friends, though I did not observe him to be in conversation with a lot of people, nor was he particularly liked. But as I said, your valet we could just arrange that. Because that man will follow you to the mouth of hell, and we do not in particular need to kill him or anything. He just needs to take the fall for the powder incident so that we can justify with our stocks being pondered, and we will have someone that the man can blame who is not vital to our operations here.
Well, we can also blame the Indians as they were sighted, and we do have a trinket from them, and we could say that this trinket was found inside the barracks. And that
Can
was
I just
broken
check
off.
the trinket if I still have it on my person? I have it, okay.
You could say that you found it in the barracks, and when you found it, all of the gunpowder was wet, and Indians have been sighted, and there are weird things going on. So while this would make the man anxious about Indians and might want them to go for a hunt party against the Indians, then this would work as well, and we would not need to lose any men for any day.
But how likely do you think an Indian sneaking up on camp, since we started the bonfires as well? Obviously, during daytime, we would notice them coming in. But with the bonfire, which is proximity is very close to my house, and with men watching around, how do you think we can justify an Indian sneaking up on our camp and just harming our gunpowder and killing no one?
Well, we could say that it happened on the same night. On the second night.
Then the men would be questioning why did we choose to hide the powder situation from them. The entire
Not
thing
make
is
them anxious.
the entire thing is to blame someone without blaming ourselves and spinning it into a believable story.
By the way, GM, who's the least useful of the workers? Are there anyone who's like unable to
Keane is
do
the
work
most
right now?
useless one.
Named the guy, like, he's not useless.
Yeah, I asked the
useless,
same question.
but the Robert Keane feller, he just told you about there's no one that is hated in camp or something like this, but this guy is a bit more lazy and silly or whatever. It's like if anyone should be crowned as the worst worker in camp, the most useless one, it would probably be him.
All right, then this person is the one that we will choose.
So
Should we talk specifics of how this event shall occur?
I mean,
We will say as much as we know, as much as we can possibly know, and unless we can point fingers directly by saying that this person did it because we saw them at some point tonight or yesterday, then I don't know how else we might point a finger to him. The same question still applies, though. We did have the bonfire tonight, so it will be impossible for him to go inside with me and you staying inside there.
We can just have him summoned to us. And then, mimic some sort of conflict with him trying to barge into the armory. And then
now, though, you can see outside that Miles Johnson and Wilhelm is, getting ready with their gear and weapons, all that, readying up. And after a short while after that, the priest will come, with his traveling cloak and his stick as well. So.
Is Gabriel also here, since we're gonna leave him in camp instead of Mr.
Gabriel is standing there talking to Wilhelm. It kind of looks like he disagrees with whatever is going on, but because he's not prepping in the same way to travel as Miles Johnson and Wilhelm is.
Okay, then, my lord, we shall probably discuss this if I ever come back. Hopefully I will. And I go towards Mr. Gabriel Hayes and Mr. Bloswick, and I want to have a very tiny, small conversation with them as well.
Okay, so I'll pull both of them back into conversation, and you're all four there, and with Gabriel and Miles Johnson as well. And the priest is back. And the hunter is back.
Hello.
So, John Gladstone, you are walking, towards the middle of the camp where Willem Bostwick is standing, getting his gear ready, along with Miles Johnson and Gabriel Haynes right next to them talking. And as you're, cuddling up close to them there, you can see James Eden and Dane Withermore coming out of the food court as well. So it's all four of you plus Gabriel Haynes and Miles Johnson right now.
Okay.
Your
So-
scene.
We're ready for the trip?
You look better, Father, than you were a few days ago.
I mean, I have my ups and downs, and this coincides with my ups, which I'm grateful for.
So, did Thomas want anything?
Oh, yes. He wanted to just do a confession about a little thingy. As it is a confession, yeah,
It is sacred and private.
of course.
All right.
Then I shall quickly go to my armory my house, and I should quickly fetch my pistol with a shot in.
I will also get my pistol and keep it on me in case anything happens here at camp.
Mr. Hayes, would you accompany me to my quarters?
Well, I guess, sure.
Since you're in charge, we shall talk to you a little bit about the charge.
Okay, so you're putting me in charge of the entire camp?
No, I'm just charging you, and I'm just putting you in charge of my office, which I would like to show you around to make sure that nothing gets stolen, or else I shall blame you.
Well, just lock your doors. We have the guy standing guard, around the bonfire. Or are we not doing
As
that
you wish.
anymore?
Here I am trying to give you more responsibility and develop you into a perfect civil servant. You're
Lord,
just coming up with
I-
excuses.
Did I hear wrong? Sorry, sir, but I thought the Lord was still here to, be in charge of the camp. I'm just, the
Yeah, I'm
the
making
militia
you.
captain while Willem is gone.
Yes,
This
exactly.
is in front of all of you, by the way. This is happening in front of all of you.
Is it Gabriel?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, Gabriel should just be with the militia. He should take
Yeah.
my responsibility, James. I recommend not the doctor's office.
I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, all right. Then I guess we all agree.
Since we're going on a trip, and this trip is going to take some time, and that it might end in unfortunate accidents, I want to ensure the armory is safely protected by this man whom
you're giving
you
me
keep
the key to
recommending.
the armory? I mean,
Yes, yes, which is why I'm taking you to my office. I'll get the key. I'll give it to you. Yeah, I give it in my office,
yeah, okay, sure.
and I'll take my pistol as well. So I just take James and go to the office with him.
I bless him from behind.
You're
while
James, by the
they're
way.
walking.
Yeah.
I meant Gabriel Hayes.
Gabriel,
Sorry.
yeah.
Okay, so you and Gabriel go to your house and you grab the key to the armory and your gun. You give him the key to both the house and the armory, and you go outside again to everyone.
No, I will tell him a few things in private, of course.
Okay, then we will have that conversation in afterwards. Okay, does anyone else want to do something or fix something before he comes back? Or do you just wait for them to come back with
But is it going to take? Well, I can just paraphrase this. I may just talk to blacksmith, but I don't want to.
yeah, you
give this
really don't
thing
have
more
time.
length.
He is just
Yeah.
fetching a couple of stuff and then
Okay,
coming
then.
back.
Okay.
I guess you go fetch the last torch or the last torches, Dane Withermore, since they are in the warehouse.
All right.
Yeah. After that, everyone else is ready to leave right now. So, one more quick conversation, James Eden. Please do not drag it out. Okay, the floor is once again
Can you
yours,
tell
James
the-
Eden.
Can you tell the difference between the armory key and the office key?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay, how many points do I have? How many story points do I have?
You have 33 story points.
Okay, how many points would it take to ensure that this man takes this key but never uses it? And I will also command him to never part from it. Not even for the Lord.
Well, that is not something you can do with your points. Like, you decide a scene, right? You can, of course, instill him with a very, high sense of loyalty and all that. But I told you, if it's player against player, he also has the option of using points against you. In that case, you will both have to, auction points to see who gets your will done. So if he tries behind your back now to get this man to give him your key, I will probably have to ask you right now. Actually, since they are not listening, how many points are you willing to use to stop him from that?
15.
15? Okay, so then I have the number if in case it happens. So you don't spend any points now, but I'll tell him that he must use points if that's going to happen. So
yes, sir.
Actually, I'm going to tell you, no matter what happens now, you will have to spend 5 points right now to ensure this guy, keeps his loyalty here or tries to. But if this, Dane Withermore uses more than 15, he gets his will.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then
that's all I wanted to say to him. And I also take my pistol and a shot, and I go.
Yes, then we are outside with the other ones. And we are bringing them back into the conversation one by one. And you are all back again here. James Eden and Gabriel Haynes comes outside again, and you're all together in the middle of camp right now. And you can see Gabriel standing there with, have both of the keys, and he puts them in his pocket. And sir, or Willem, are you guys sure you don't want more, people with you?
For now, I'm sure. Yeah, it should be just like a little more than a day, or not more than a day, but close to a day's trip. So we'll be here till the evening, I guess. I suspect so.
Yeah, I'd hate, not having you back by the day, end of the day, because you don't have too much with you of light source.
Yeah, and I'm not in the best shape as well, so
yeah,
it will just be an easy trip. But I think it's an important.
Should we have a contingency, like if you're not back in until tomorrow, we send a force out after you?
After all of us, yeah, we should do like a search team like we did last time. I recommend that. But that will be up to Dane. But yeah.
I mean, if you guys are not back, I'm sorry to say, Lord Withermore, I'm going up there to fetch my friend if he doesn't come back. I'm sorry, Lord. For
it will be necessary if the situation demands it.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, then you are ready. You've already used up like half an hour or so of daylight, so you should.
Before leaving, I want to bless Mr. Hayes quickly in front of everyone. It doesn't matter. Just know that whatever befalls you is the cunning of man, a product of it at least. Seek shelter under the Lord, my son. And then I bless him.
He thanks you. And he said he will do his best to try and fill Willem's shoes while he is gone. Okay. Before we start this now, I'm wondering, do you guys need a small break, like 5 minutes or so? If not, we can just continue.
Fine.
I'm good for now.
Okay. Same for you, James.
Yeah, sure.
Dane Withermore.
Yep.
Do you need to do anything, or do you want to do anything before because this is going to be two different. No, they are traveling and you're staying behind in the camp. Do you want to have a scene with me alone? In the meanwhile, just give me a little heads up.
Well, no, but I want to everyone here can notice this as I give the orders. We have 2 rifles left right now, right, in the camp.
Correct. One there's 2 right now. One for Willem and one for Miles Johnson.
Then I will take my pistol as well and take the 2 guys and order them around the buildings to patrol around as necessary. And I will take my gun and be around looking at things, checking the perimeter and so
you'll
on.
do little rounds yourself around the camp and on the plantation.
Apart
fields.
from the 3 of us, also I might take a break to take up stocks, go inside and check everything is where it needs to be. Apart from the 3 of us, I want everyone else working in the plantation right now.
Yeah, they're on the job. Okay, if that's the case, I'm going to mute you for a while, but please stay around just in case.
If you want me back, I'll be in here in just 5 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have you 3 walking up, following the tracks. You can't see too much of them everywhere, Willem, but since it stopped raining and there's it's getting colder, it's easy for you to follow all of the tracks you made last time you went out to check, and with the second search party as well. And of course, you know the direction. You of course walk in a more leisurely tempo than you're used to, but it works. You're not straining yourself, and of course, maybe for inexperienced travelers like John Gladstone and especially James Eden here, it's just a nice tempo anyways, because you're not too sure if you could have upheld your regular tempo and James Eden would be able to follow. Maybe John Gladstone, because he's tough as nails. But
I have my share of
yeah, but he's still, aging, and he's had his issues with his health, right? So this works for everyone.
Yes, but I have a walking stick. It's an
Yes.
advantage.
And of course, you reach the edge of where you checked the last time, or the edge of where the second search party, which traveled a bit further than you did, and you can only see, bits and traces of the tracks that Vincent Lucas made.
Yeah.
Or at least the boots he is wearing usually. Someone from the camp. And you keep walking up there. Do you do anything about it, or just keep following the tracks?
I'm still following tracks. Are they still leading up to that cape?
It seems so, yeah. Unless, of course, at the very entrance of the mountain pass he changes, but it's unlikely because it's just the way the landscape is built right here. It wouldn't be very normal.
Alright.
So yeah, of course James and John, you both see Willem. He's taking it easy, of course. If it's because of you guys, you're not sure, but still he seems to be on the track, and he's very good at what he's doing.
It's like a bloodhound.
You would have no chance following this, and sometimes if you would indulge them, you of course you see this little hair. This clearly indicates that someone has been stepping there, and sometimes it's very obvious because it's mud and you see the footprint. Right now, though, you are walking in more steep terrain up this mountain pass, so it goes even more slowly, and here and there you have to stop and check because you can't see tracks on stone and rock, of course.
Nah.
But the small patches where you can still see the ground, you follow the tracks. They're still leading up here, and right now there is only one place to go, and that's to the mouth of hell. And that's where
Does
you
it
end up.
actually look like a mouth bed? Does it resemble it?
Not like very directly, but yes, it looks like a big
Like-
fucking gaping hole in the mountain wall there. It is large enough for at least 5 people to be standing side by side, and tall enough for almost 2 people in height, but it narrows as it goes in. So in the opening you can clearly see due to daylight, but further in it is impossible to see pretty far.
Do I
Are
see
there
anything
any-
around? Oh,
Yeah, markings around the entrance.
the entrance. Yeah.
You don't see any markings, but you see the tracks. They are leading into the cave. Like most of the time, you wouldn't be able to see because it's a cave, right, with rock. But there are some steps there where you can see mud getting dragged into the cave. So he did go in here, and you don't see any else, of tracks. It's only him.
All right. All right, people. I guess we need to get inside and check this out.
Yes,
So you
of
light
course.
up the torch, and you start.
Yeah, I
walking.
would. Yeah.
Maybe John Gladstone or James Eden here can hold the torch, since they are, not using two-handed rifles as you and Miles Johnson are.
Okay.
Well, I'm more having the sword inside. I don't.
Okay.
If it's dark and going around with a musketeer, I just keep it on my back.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I have my cross on on my hand, like holding it in front of
Okay.
me.
And due to you having, very keen hunting senses, you start as you walk in. It's this is a very big cave. By the way, it's more or less a maze of tunnels around in here, and you haven't been able to check all of it because of its size, but some of them lead to waters, some are just dead ends, but there's a smell almost 20 seconds in. It's the smell of slaughter. Like fresh kill or fresh game, something like that. And it doesn't
Right.
take too long before you other, like John, James, Miles as well. What's that smell?
But you said it's a maze. Should I be concerned? Or
No,
if I follow?
you would probably, most likely be able to find the way out. That's not it.
All
But
right.
you might come if you go really far into the cave and with the winding tunnels. You might
Well,
get
you will
lost.
let me know, right?
Yeah, but right now
Yeah.
you're in complete control.
All
Right
right.
now you can just turn around and see the entrance to the cave as well. It's a bit behind you.
All right. Using caution, I'm entering or heading towards
Okay.
the smell.
Are there still like mud below us, like stretching
No,
through?
it's rock now.
Like no, the footprints. I mean,
No,
It's only just rock.
from what you saw, Wilhelm, the mud walks a bit into the
Ah,
cave,
okay.
and then of course it's used up more or less. So you can't see anything else now. Right now you don't have any tracks, but there's a smell right in front of you. You're pretty sure. Just walking a bit more in, and you'll discover the source of the smell.
Any noises?
No, it's completely silent in here, except for the echo of you, of course.
I
And-
speak in native. James can hear this. It's just for
Yeah.
solidarity. Wilhelm, do you think we should mark our way through here?
That's how far we go. For now, we can just check out this smell, and if it's necessary, if we have to go further inside, I would really like to mark it. Yeah, but for now,
I'll
it should
just
be fine.
pick up a stone and chisel some wall next to me.
As you're talking about this and you're reaching for a stone, Wilhelm, and the light shines upon a small little a part of the cave coming out, and you see there's something laying on top of the rock, and then you see there's something behind as well. The first thing you see right now is there are neatly folded clothes, Vincent Lucas's clothes, his boots and his hat. They're laying on the rock there, neatly folded and put down there for cleanliness, or packed down or whatever. And there's a burnt down candle next to it, and right behind that rock on the floor is a dead man, and he is laying inside some ritual markings, and there's some bones strewn around, and there's burnt out candles, and this is what you see, or what would likely have been seen while the candle before the candles burnt down.
Is his skin gone?
Yes, the man is completely skinned from head to bottom. It's very, very expertly done.
Have I seen any natives do this kind of thing?
No, you have not.
What's that in the jar?
There is a bowl of chicken bones, and bones with markings.
Are these similar to the thing I'm wearing on my neck?
Yes, they are.
And it's
Some
a
of them
pentagram,
have the same
like
symbol.
an actual pentagram, right?
Yes.
I haven't
Actual
seen any
ones?
natives do that, right? Like any
Never.
pentagrams.
They don't know of this stuff.
So this is obviously like from Europe. Something, Abrahamic.
What's scattered around? I see some by the bowl or
Bones,
something.
chicken bones, or bird bones. You're not sure actually.
Ah.
That's,
Well, I could investigate it.
Yeah, it's different bird bones, and some you're not sure if you've seen before.
What about the person? Do I know it's Vincent?
Based on the body type and the height and all that, and the eyes, because he is laying there, frozen in shock almost. But there's no other, as far as at least you, Wilhelm, and James see. There's no other wounds on him. It looks like he died from getting skinned alive. But the clothes, the type, the everything else, it points to this. You're very certain this is Vincent Lucas.
Is that white thing right next to the shoes and the hat? Is that his shirt?
Yes, that's his shirt, and his socks next to that again.
You draw this?
Oh boy.
No,
Nice.
a very good friend of mine from Argentina, Mauser, might be here in chat now as well. He drew this for me.
Nice. Really nice. All right, guys. I think it's time to investigate.
So I'm going to do this and this. Also, we're going to add a little extra in here. This and this.
Ooh.
Nice.
Is his eyes open? Like,
Yes, it is open.
I immediately move a cloth to my nose and mouth and just
Yeah.
close them then.
Let's hope Mr. Withermore is not checking the stream right now.
I hope so too.
He's
Well,
not
looks
allowed to.
like he is.
No, I don't think so.
Seems oblivious. Yeah.
Of course,
Well-
Miles Johnson. He almost wretches himself from this macabre sight.
Yes.
There's not
I'm-
there's not even a single spot of skin left on this guy.
I'm telling
Everything's
Miles
been-
to just go and guard the entrance. Miles.
He
Get some fresh air.
he just looks away and it's still like like, he avoids looking at the corpse and stands guard just next to you guys.
Is this markings done by a chalk of some kind? Something like that?
Some of it is marked with blood or some kind of chalk. Yes.
Well, with my boots, I try to spread as much of it as I can.
Like destroy it.
Yeah, destroy the
Disturb
room.
it.
Yeah.
Sacrilegious.
I'm
Father,
heading.
what's your take on this?
This is not something native. This is something that came with us. Like,
Satanic, you would say, judging by
yeah,
by
I
the
have
star?
never seen pentagrams used by the natives before, or the candles, as you can see. How would they even acquire like these candles?
Mr. Boswick, do we know of any white Christians in this area that is not us?
No. We don't know.
Spaniards, Portuguese,
Nope.
French?
No.
Hmm.
I'm heading towards to check the belongings, like the hat and the clothes, to see if there's anything like under the hat, in the shoes.
Nothing.
If there's
It's
nothing.
It's his clothes, and they're neatly put down there, like someone just undressed and put them nicely there.
Against my nature, I try to look into the region his heart is supposed to be. Is it hollow? Like,
No,
touched?
everything is there. There's no. It's just missing
just skin. Okay,
Yes.
just filleted.
He's just flayed from top to bottom, and yeah, there's no other marks on him. No signs of struggle or wounds, anything.
James, could you check him out? I mean, perhaps we should check inside his mouth or whatever if there's anything special.
Okay, I will take a piece of cloth. I will just, have it around my mouth and nose. And could one of you just hold the torch above the body so that I can see?
Well, I'm next to it, so I'll just hold
Yeah.
it.
Okay, I
And
will
I-
just.
And I pray all the time, by the way. My mouth is like moving all the time.
Yeah, say 2 Hail Marys for me, Father. I tried to open his mouth, first of all.
Yeah. You open his mouth.
The teeth, are they all there as humanly
Yes.
as possible?
Yep.
His tongue?
His tongue is also there.
Normal, no, enlargements.
Maybe a bit swollen, but if this guy disappeared yesterday, it might have time to. You're not sure. But seemingly
none
normal.
of his organs are taken. Just skin. No heart taken out.
Unless there's a hole in his back, everything seems to be in working order. Like this guy's been skinned to death.
And he's not chained, right?
Other.
Like you don't know
Boswick?
anatomy inside the way James Eden does. There's
like
there's
chained
nothing
as in-
wrong. It doesn't seem like he was. He looks like he laid down to get skinned.
Just as easy as that.
Reverend Boswick, Sir Boswick, my take on this is going to sound very hedonic or heretical to you, but why the skin in particular? Could it be somewhat linked to this skin-changing creature that we just read up upon? I mean, why the skin when you could have taken any piece out of it? Why only the skin?
Then
Could
why
it
the
be
heart
some-
of the first death?
I think, however, this creature, or in the case of our friend here, these creatures feed off on hearts. But to make new creatures, perhaps you need to skin another man in a, as you can see, ritual manner, and you give them a new skin, perhaps. I'm just, basing my scientific findings on some heretical texts. There is no
So-
credence in my words. I'm just making assumptions here, Father and Mr. Boswick.
What about the walls? Are there anything if I get John to look with the torch towards the walls?
Nothing. Seems like everything was centered here. Of course, there's plenty of tunnels to check out in this huge tunnel maze, but there's nothing else in the immediate surroundings. Seems like everything that needed to be done or was done happened right here. It is what as you can see in the picture, more or less.
Mr. Eden, do you need to do any more inspections?
I do not see us being able to haul this body back to camp as a possibility with a wounded man on our side and the two of us not really accustomed to these hardships. Neither would I prefer to take this body back to the camp where the men could
No,
see it.
I'm not going to take it back to the camp, but
So
this man still deserves a burial.
yes, that's what.
I
Thank you, John Gladstone, for that. And it is possible for you, even though it would be very, tiresome. You guys could change, on who helps Miles carry, and you can wrap him up in your cloaks or something like that. That will make.
Why?
Father,
He has his own clothes, right? Let's just wrap him up in that.
That can clothe them up, but it might be easier for you to carry him in wrapped up like in your clothes, no, in your cloaks.
Father, do you believe that this man's soul would be in peril should we to burn him instead of burying him? Do you think Lord would agree with it? Since he was used in
Titanic
as you can
ritual.
see, exactly. I would say the fire should cleanse his spirit and let it fly above to the Lord. And his body, for whatever purpose was used, would probably be of no use to whoever did this to him. Should we to burn him instead of bury him?
I was just wondering if I could just borrow the torch a little bit and just walk maybe 3. Oh, who fell out?
Yeah, he's back.
Sorry, that was a hiccup on my part.
Hello?
Yeah, we can see
And
you.
the
It's
camera
dark now.
is... Yeah, I don't know why. Hold on. Fuck.
He's just
No,
adapting to the
that's
cave
just-
environment.
Yes, I said that's
Oh,
just
okay.
atmosphere for being inside a cave right now.
This bad connection. in the game.
Yeah.
No, I was just
Um,
wondering if I could just borrow the torch and just go like 3 or 4 meters inside the cave just to see if I see any signs or
Yeah,
anything.
Of course, you can do that, but that will leave the rest of your friends in darkness unless they follow you.
Well, 3 or 4 meters is not much. If you have the
Yeah, sure. But I kind of already put that into consideration when you checked on surrounding walls and all that.
All right, all right, done.
Okay.
Um,
Mr. Eden, I would prefer we bury this man rather than burn him. Besides, would you want to burn him in a cave in closed space like this?
No,
While we
sir.
are in
We should definitely take him out, but
This
I
man
would
was a
not
Christian
recommend-
in your little parish there, John Gladstone. So he should be buried like a true Christian.
Yes, of course. Maybe not next to the church as of right now. He may be exhumed and relocated in a later date if we get around to it.
Well, that burying up bodies from graves.
But at least he needs to be under the earth right now, not in this satanic ritual.
Yes, and
I just wish that whoever did this to him has no further use for his earthly remains, and burying him, he could just as easily be taken out of a burial ground. As we can clearly see, our supposed enemies are not exactly lacking in deviousness and devilry. So I
Yes,
insist
because of
on
that,
the
we
burning.
have to like behold our beliefs in an utmost passion. What else are you suggesting? Should we abandon our ways in the face of this evil?
Father, I'm sure you're a man of letters, and you do know back in the day when the plague struck us, we did burn people to, stop the infection. Could you not look at this particular situation in the same way? This man might be a danger, and Lord knows his own, as our bishops always say. But if you insist on burying him, I shall not stand in your way. I'm
This
just
man
giving you my professional
was a victim
view.
of an enchantment, of a magic, of pagan. I'd rather we bury him.
As I said, I will not stand in
I
your
am
way,
stopping
Father.
this. If you're not going to help, you three of you can try to go delve deeper into this maze of sorts. If it's up to me, I will carry this man and bury him myself. However long it takes me.
no, I will help you, Father. Miles Johnson says. I if this were me,
Miles,
and you can
if
see
your
it start-
stomach,
you can see this actually has some effect on him. You remember this guy is also his roommate. One of his closer friends. Same with Wilhelm here. If it were me that were lying here, I'd very much like for you to carry me back to town so I can be buried in next to the church and have a proper burial. I will help you, Father. Me and you, we can carry him back. It will take time, but we can do it.
I
at
think
least to some soft ground. Maybe not just to the church, but still, at least some place we can mark him. Can see that he is down under.
I would recommend not to make this very official to everyone in the town if we're taking this body back. Because this will create hysteria for the people, or by the people,
Well,
if we tell them anything.
you want to keep silent about this? Well,
No. We'll say that we found him dead. We'll have a closed casket and bury him. But
yeah,
I do not want anything about the satanic ritual
Yeah, I
getting
can agree
out.
on that, but you can
For
see
now.
him. You can see him clearly. Like, he can't fathom the. Why would you?
Actually,
go up here?
Mr. Wilhelm, I think we should make sure that everybody knows this is a satanic ritual. What we are up against. It's not something material. It's something
Yes,
magical.
Father. Someone
Something
is targeting
paganic.
us. Someone
Yes.
attacked you, Wilhelm, and someone killed John Anstey as well. And I don't know why. Why would he go up here in the first place? Doesn't make sense.
Because he was
So-
possessed. I told you.
Yeah.
I told all of you. And seems I was right, unfortunately. God bless his soul.
There's
That
something
just
very
gives us
mystic
even
about this.
Bigger reason to prepare ourselves. We are under attack, aren't we? Now 2 people of our camp have been killed, and I can promise you, he didn't want this.
No, I understand.
Would you prefer if everyone found out about this and lose the few moments of sleep they can get each night? Or would you prefer a more calm, more ready camp who knows that there is an enemy out there, but they do not yet suspect that it is of the supernatural kind?
I look into the eyes of Wilhelm after James says this. Have you met any foe that has done stuff like this to our kind. Sure, maybe they have piked our skulls and heads. Maybe they threw, drive us into it. Maybe, but not this, it's demonic. And this is one of our own, one of our kind, not some natives.
Well, if it's one of our kind,
Isn't it obvious?
well, if it is, then there's someone in our camp maybe that's doing this.
That is a possibility, yes.
And then I don't know. I think of course, he will get a burial.
Okay, so there are no remains of the skin anywhere near us, right?
No,
Like
no,
anywhere.
I don't see it.
you can't see it anywhere. And he checked the surrounding area as well. There is no sign of it being close by either.
Father, were I to promise you that this Saturday I shall order the men to resume constructions on your church, would you agree that we do not speak of this ritual to the men?
Mr. Eden, I'm not so sure that a church is enough to protect us anymore. I think we need our people to have utmost faith, however they may, and know what they're up against. This is not some common foe we are facing. No.
But
I
would a
don't
church
see how-
help us in any way? Do you think the church, a big cross, a central faith, do you think that would help us in any way? Or would you see it as a waste of time at this point? Because I do not share Lord Withermore's more material pursuits right now. I am more concerned about the camp and the spiritual and overall well-beings of everyone.
Yes, I can see that. Let me tell you this. A church may have uplifted the spirits of our people, at least believing in something as they are used to. But they need to uplift their own conscience, their own belief in themselves and the God. Against a foe like this, that's not a thing I don't know, a flock can solve. They have to find their individual faith, I think. That's the only way.
Reverend, let me put it this way. You are a man of many years, and despite our initial disagreements upon such subjects, you are a man of firm conviction and faith. Do you think, with the church built up as the pinnacle upon which you shall stand, do you think you can preach to the men, and do you think you can prepare them mentally to some extent? Would the church help you, or should our focus be elsewhere? Is what I'm asking. Do you think the church is still a priority, or should I ask for something else from the men?
I think our priority is to make their convictions in themselves. Yes, their individual ones. As I said before, it has to be their own kind of belief. No, it cannot be just the church. Church may have helped, as I said, in a normal occasion, a normal attack, desperation maybe, but I guess no.
And what do you
demonic.
suggest, Father, that we do once we get back?
Well, it is my job. I have to go around and ease the spirits of all of them and raise their beliefs in however way I can. But you just know this. I will not withhold any information of this from them. They need to know what they're up against.
As you wish, Father. I cannot stop you from doing that, but I do not in any way support this decision of yours. It will only cause more panic. It will only lead to people wanting more firearms and
It
being
will
much more.
only cause more panic if we do it in a crowd, while when they can just go through the herd logic, go up against us.
No.
You're muted, Sheriff.
Yeah, Arthur, you're muted.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything. Like, anyways, the Miles Johnson tries to get your attention. If I may, Father and Sir, both
What
me
is it, Miles?
and Gabriel, and we've seen a lot of this stuff right now, and even though we're very alarmed, and this is, pardon my words, like fucked up, we haven't panicked yet. I have a gun. I haven't fired it yet, so maybe you shouldn't be too afraid. We've been to war before, okay? And this might be satanic or pagan or whatever, but it's still an enemy we can fight, right?
I agree.
I hold the shoulders of Sky. I forget the names of these
Miles Johnson.
Miles.
Yeah, Miles Johnson. And I say, did this roommate of yours, this is man, your fellow man, didn't he come here willingly? Look at him, like there is no signs of him being chained or being struggling. This is possession, my son. This is not something you can go up against with just weapons. This is with
you
your
see
belief
him,
in God you can go up against.
You all see him like zoning out a bit, and he will never go up here by his own, free will. There's only like it turns into him almost like thinking out loud. Now that you say that, it's like the only people he would have listened to and walked up here for is, maybe. Of course, he looks like you three guys, and yeah.
Speak up, my boy. Who are you talking about?
No. Sorry, I was just.
No, you can
You
say it.
mentioned someone. Someone he might have.
No,
Be under the commando.
He's too scared now. He was too scared to do anything. He would never
That's
do
the
anything
thing.
like this, unless
Hello.
someone ordered him to.
Yes.
Did he go like
Do you-
alone?
Even then, he would have second thoughts about it.
Ordered as in someone with authority, you mean?
Yeah. I'm
Like who?
The only people I guess he would take orders from is you three and
Dane Withermore.
Lord Withermore.
Yes.
But even then, why would any one of you guys send him up here? That doesn't make any sense.
From what I know of Withermore, he may have a thing against
I'm
our
not.
father.
I'm sorry. I even I that doesn't make any sense. But none of this makes any sense at all. Like, yeah.
Do anyone here think that Lord Withermore had anything to do with this? Does any of you?
It is someone from within us. There is no new colony near us in miles. It has to be
Father.
within.
I mean,
And it has to be from someone who is educated, obviously, in an ill-mannered way, of course, but still educated. Look at this.
Well, no.
Did the deceased
I'm
man
sorry.
go to
I'm
Jamestown?
sorry. I even mentioned it. Okay.
No, my boy.
we-
You were
we-
right to
we
do
ha-
so.
Father, but we are all together in this. We're up here together, and why would Lord Dane Withermore even want to lose any of his best workers?
Because he lost everything back home. That may be his reasoning.
What?
I
So
don't
lost-
think he would do this. I think he is more interested in the material possessions other than the spiritual. Does any of you know that if the deceased boy here went to Jamestown in the near future, maybe last week?
No, you've all been up here for 2 years. Like
No,
James.
we sent people to Jamestown with a
No,
boat and all that.
You don't go to Jamestown. You go down the river and meet up with the boat. You never go to Jamestown.
But did he meet up with that boat recently?
No, Vincent Lucas is too scared even off the river. Okay, so he just stays in camp and does his work. Most of the time, people who go down streams is the people who volunteer, like they want to do something different, and he is not one of them.
The only one experienced with skinning here is me and James.
And some of your fellow hunters, maybe, but yeah.
Not at this type.
No, only Wilhelm and I can truly be this expert.
Why
And
would
I
you
will
say that, Willem?
I don't know.
He of course looks at both of you. We were all back at camp, right?
Well,
As far
Wilhelm
as
did
I know,
go out
yes.
to search for his friends,
Well, I've
but he
been.
was in company at all times.
Yes.
And I was in the company of both Father Gladstone and Lord Widmore when this fellow disappeared.
Well, when did he disappear?
Didn't he disappear
Yesterday?
during dinner?
No.
Or maybe just shortly before dinner?
Well, he disappeared during the day, right?
Yes.
After the attack.
Yeah, working day, of course. Yeah.
And we were all in camp during that time. We all have people that can verify our stories. Don't we, Wilhelm?
Willem was in his room
Well,
resting while all of the workers were out on the plantation working. Willem was resting from his wound. John was resting from his illness. You were sleeping, and Dane Withermore was, going around trying to get rid of his hangover.
Oh, wait.
Well, at least standing here won't do anything. I suggest we take him back and give him a proper burial.
Does this cave continue any deeper?
Yeah, there
Oh,
are
yeah.
several tunnels.
Yes, it's very big.
Do you have any inclination to check out those tunnels right now, or would you rather we had more men with us?
You don't even have enough light to check all of the cave right now.
Yes.
No, but I
We-
think we could. How much time of the day do we have left?
Outside of the cave, there's plenty of daytime, like at least 6-7 more hours. You need 3 hours to get back, maybe
The body?
maybe 4 with the body. So you got at least 4-5 hours left to spare right now.
Okay, I have an important question. Has rigor mortis settled into this corpse?
Now, I'm not a medical expert in real life.
I don't know how many days it takes,
Exactly.
but I'm not so sure. Like it's this soon, but still, it may be under.
Well, for game purposes, it is possible for you. Of course, you'll be a bit sore and tired if all of you, probably except Wilhelm here, helps wrapping up the body and carry him back to camp. You will be able to do it in 4 hours, but you will be, a bit sore of, all of that carrying and.
No, I'm just praying to my God to give me any strength I have left in me, like awaken it. I may actually just spend some of my story points to give me such a
It's fine.
sudden burst of energy if it's so desired to.
Maybe you will have to spend them later on if you need to exert yourself in a close situation, because right now you will be muscle sore of carrying him back to town. But it won't hamper you. You will be able to do it.
Okay.
So
What do you say, guys? Want to go further in? Check for some clues.
I don't want to leave you empty-handed, of course, aside from a deceased body here.
I can
I'm gonna-
take on this body with just the guy, your
your own?
roommate?
Yourself?
Your roommate? No.
if that's
Mr.
the
Milton?
case, you have to split up and you have to light up another torch, which is very inefficient if you want to scout around.
Just lead us to the entrance, and then we will take care of the rest. Us
Okay.
two.
We
Okay,
can
If you
do
want
that.
to go deeper.
Father, is it wise of us to split up right now? You know, whoever did this could
Well,
be right nearby.
these gentlemen are, old enough to decide for their own, I think. Against such a sight, they want to go delve deeper. Who am I to judge? God be with them.
He looks at you, Willem. Like, when it comes to dangerous missions and operations, this is your field of expertise.
I'll take care of James. We'll just go safety.
So
A little
right
bit
right
further.
now, you all help getting the body to the entrance, so they can be outside with the body and start carrying it, you know, down the mountain or the mountain pass, while you guys check a bit inside the cave.
Yeah, not thoroughly, but just to see if there's any more clues or
Okay.
anything that.
Yeah, like with the time you have left.
Yeah. And I bet we catch up with them. Even though I'm sore.
Okay.
I guess I'll be muted now.
No, you won't. It's going to be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Then we go back to. Oh, that's the wrong place. Sorry. I just have
That's
to
the-
press over. Right when
That's it's the
right
other
there.
cave.
So okay, I can just tell you right now, even though you will of course take your time going around looking, you won't find anything else. You do use a bit of time on this, and of course you use a lot of time as well, John Gladstone, you and Miles, trying to carry this body in between you down. Of course, you
Yeah,
meet
those
up.
youngsters should have listened to me.
But you wouldn't know that before. Yeah, of course, there's a lot of other passages you are not able to check right now, but you do check, quite a few, and of course, you even meet places where the cave just leads down into water, and you don't even know if there's, just a few meters of water going in there, and there's dry land after that again. You really don't, unless you jump into the water, but you can't bring fire into the water, so you'll be in complete darkness if you go down there. I'll just say you check around, don't find anything, meet up again, and you're all heading back to town right now.
Alright.
Or back to camp. And I'm going to have a small chat with Dane Withermore. So I'll mute all of you for a while, and we'll come. Okay, I'll just put this away just in case. There's no need right now for this to be here after that.
Oh,
Like
the
that.
border space. Oh.
Okay, be right back for you guys.
Alright.
Oh. It's Ulrithian time. Everyone else is muted. It's just me and you, Lord Withermore. Now, how are things going back in camp while these boys are out on a mission?
Well, hopefully well. I got 2 people out looking for stuff, and I'm probably finishing up my stocks right now. Taking stocks, looking through the warehouse, seeing that everything is in place.
Yeah, it is. While you are sitting there working on your ledger, like you have people, of course, doing those little, patrols and all that, but the rest of the workers should be out on the plantation right now. You feel you can hear someone like talking very close by. Like you can't really hear, but it isn't the voices of the guys you put in charge of patrolling. It's
I silently try to get closer.
is it It's just for a brief moment, and then it stops. Like, someone was, just outside the door or outside of the wall. You're not sure where the sound came from. It happened so fast, but no one's supposed to be that close right now to you.
I'll go outside with a brisk step, not exactly running but speed walking right now,
Yeah.
to see if anyone is like walking away from this place.
Not as far as you can see.
I will try to get closer to the wall where I think they might be outside, to the point there the noise came from, and look around there.
Well, outside the building, that's where, around the food court and to your house, that's where the rest of the party went, remember?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of foot tracks there, and all of you stood here before, remember? So there's no trace of anyone.
I'll ask the lookouts if they saw anyone from the plantation walking close by, or anyone coming to this location, and ask where they were in those moments.
You find them. They are patrolling all around, So right now they are at the fields where the rest of the workers are. You find them, and Lord?
Did you see anyone from the plantation moving back to the buildings?
Well, of course, when they harvest, they pull everything back to, the stables and the smithy.
Who was the last person, if you can remember?
They're looking at each other. Was it? I'm sorry, Lord. I don't remember. I mean, there's a lot of people going back and forth, and we're on the lookout, as you said, for anything suspicious outside.
All right, that's good.
Did anything happen?
I think I heard someone talking outside. It might be one of the workers coming by.
Oh, is that a problem?
No, I don't think so. I just wanted to talk to them for a second.
Okay, we can ask around if anyone was, where were you then?
I was near the warehouse, if that's of any help. Ask who went last time, and if we have any missing people, do a head count.
Okay, sure. It's almost lunchtime anyway, so we can tell everyone to just stick in the middle of the camp when we have lunch. Like, don't go anywhere, so we can. That's actually a pretty good idea, Lord. We'll tell everyone to so we can do a head count, so no one's missing.
All right, and when moving back from the plantation, do move in groups of 2 or 3, so that no one goes for unaccounted for. Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
I'll go back and I'll search in the warehouse if there's any place anyone might be hiding in my house.
Of course, the warehouse is locked. No one goes in there without you opening it. Both of the doors are still locked, so the only entrance anyone has is either through the food court and into the hallway outside of your little apartment. You can hear through the wall into the food court as well, and of course on the outside of the building, behind where the rest of the party went.
All right.
So, yeah, of course, everyone heads back for lunch. They do a little head count. You might be there as well to check in. Everyone is there. No one is missing. And the guards come over to you as well. Like, based on what you said, there were like a group of 6 guys. One of them, they give you the names. But no one was close to your house, as far as we know. They all went into the smithy to, deliver the tobacco and pack it up.
All right, I want one of you where we built the bonfire to keep an eye out, and the other one can keep an eye out from here along the plantation. I don't think if anything is going to happen, it's going to happen out in the plantation at this point in time.
Okay, yeah. Well, I wouldn't be mind standing next to the fire, Lord. It's getting very cold. So, thank you.
No problem. And I will address the people during lunch so that no one is left alone. If anyone needs to go to the toilet for whatever reason, bring someone else, ask around, and bring someone with you. We don't want anyone wandering off again. Groups of 2 or 3.
Yes, Lord. Of course, they eat their lunch. They go back to work and all that. And later, in the a bit in the afternoon, there's a certain group that will come back, and I will start pulling them back in here, unless there's something else you want to do before we get to that point.
I would like to check the warehouse again and like try to gauge where the people who spoke. Could I tell if they spoke in English?
You're pretty sure it was English.
But it wasn't anyone from the camp that we know of, so okay.
The voices sounded familiar. That's the thing, right? Because it was so, short, and you're not certain, exactly where it was from. Like, you were sitting there writing, you're pretty focused, and what was that like? But you're pretty sure that you recognize those voices from it. Yeah, it's hard. It sounded familiar.
Could it be? All right. Could it be the missing guy? Because that's the only guy that we know of from the camp.
Yes, but in that case, he was talking to someone else from camp as well.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. That's interesting. Could I be sure that the noise came from outside the building? Or is that unclear? It's unclear. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Not from within the warehouse, though. With the doors being locked. That's okay.
That's that for you, of course. If there's, but you counted everyone, and unless they have their own key, which they don't, you're the only one with a key. But
when everyone is working again,
sound wise, yes, it could be that someone was inside the warehouse. You really don't know.
I'll make sure when everyone's working to, check the warehouse again for. I'm looking for people right now, where people might be coming in, going out, any loose boards in the walls, my own rooms as well.
Yeah, you make a thorough check through the warehouse and your apartment to see if there's anything. This takes a while, of course. You don't see anything or find anything, so you're pretty sure
It'll keep me busy
safe.
anyway.
Yeah, there's something to do, and keep you a bit warm as well, because it is actually getting even more colder. And it seems like when you come outside, the fog actually thickens. And I'm going to pull them in now. I'll go back to this. And John Gladstone, James Eden, and Willem Bostwick, you see the camp in sight. It's in the afternoon. It's getting even colder, and the fog is thickening right now. You're very glad to be back in camp. Do you just waltz into camp? Make yourself declare?
We have been here for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Has it always been this direct change of cold? Like,
it's
doesn't get this
as
deep.
I said, the weather is unstable in this part of the country. At least what you're used to back from England. But the weather has been a bit.
I mean, foggy. That should be normal, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you guys walk into camp, I guess, make yourself known. That you see, of course, that there are a patrol of guards, and it's closing into dinner now. You guys are probably starving. Probably packed a bit of biscuits or something like that, traveling biscuits, maybe some dried meat. but yes, you're back in camp, and you would very much like to be near a campfire and have something warm to eat now. Maybe, talk to Lord Withermore about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you
They
guys are
have-
trying to go hidden into camp, I'll just someone's coming right now, and when they see you coming out of the forest from the north there.
I don't think that's necessary for my
Okay.
part.
Yeah, then
They
of
have
course,
patrols around,
they're,
right?
They're back. They're back. You can hear, and Dane Withermore. Some of the guys are, of course, the kitchen guys are preparing the food right now, but everyone else comes running to see what's going on. Of course, the guys are close by, of course. So, and Withermore, it's very apparent that a couple of them have used their traveling cloaks to carry something which resembles a body in between them, packed inside the cloaks.
Do you need any help out there?
Yes, gather 4 men and tell them to dig a burial hole next to the other one.
Of course, all of the men who is close by goes, "Oh, what happened?"
Yeah. We found his
can
body.
see- yeah, you Dane Withermore, you can see these guys are, not in the best moods. There's a very strange, thoughtfulness over them.
Alright, that is weird. I will post lookouts at the bonfire and order men to dig a hole.
That would be good.
Okay, you pick someone out from the nearby crowd, and they just go out there, start digging. Just father, just next to the other one. Or do you
Yes,
want-
of course.
Yeah, they go ahead. The one guy just goes up to you like, unless we work tonight, we probably won't be ready with a casket though. So maybe we have to do it tomorrow.
Well, this should do without a casket.
Oh, well, as you say, father. I suppose you carry the body back to your place, James Eden?
want to?
Since they're just gonna bury it without a casket, I don't think I need the body back at my place. More like we just need to wait until the hole is digged. I'm not gonna do an autopsy or anything.
Okay, then if that's the case, you have a small shed next to your house, John Gladstone, which is close to the burial ground anyway, so you can just store him there for now.
How many hours would digging the hole take?
Right now, no one else is working on the plantation because they were getting ready for food anyway. So you can have a team of 6 to 8 people rotating on the shovels and getting that hole digged, ready in a couple of hours.
All right then.
Of course, there's a lot of questions, what happened and all that, but they leave you, leaders to it.
I assure the ones that ask questions, I will talk to you all one by one. I will ease your souls, don't you worry.
What do you guys do? Like, all of you?
I mean, we should update Dane with them all. What happened?
So you 4, step to the side a bit.
Well, are there no ears there?
That's up
if
to
we
you
have
guys.
chairs-
You are the leaders, so if you want to be alone, you get your time alone. It's that simple.
We can go up to the doctor's house. With it being on the upstairs, it might carry
Where's
less
Mr.
noise.
Hayes?
He's nearby as well. Probably.
I just
Actually,
point to him to give me
I-
back my keys.
I guess you want these back.
Yes, thank
I
you.
wouldn't want to leave the body unchecked.
So you can just carry it into James Eden's place in the meanwhile.
Okay, then let's just take it
Okay.
with us, I guess. I think the Lord should see to his workers.
Yeah, you get a bit of support put him down on the same bench where John Anstey Lou slain the first night, and they leave you to it. And it's only you four guys and the body of Vincent Lucas. Yeah.
My lord, prepare your stomach.
It's empty as can be.
That's for the best.
And he sees the body.
Yes, you see the body, Dane Withermore, and you see a man flayed from top to bottom. There's not a single patch of skin left on his body. You might have seen, small, drawn pictures of the anatomy of man and all that stuff, but you never picture it be like this. As far as you can see, it's a grotesque body. You see the muscles and the dried blood and all that, and of course the wide open eyes, because even the eyelids has been skinned away.
The teeth are perfectly visible, probably.
Yes. That's
Well, that's freak. Where did you find this?
Mount of
Um,
Hell.
Yeah.
There was a
And-
pentagram drawn under it as well, with candles.
Yeah, it was the work of a pagan.
Some
But-
bones similar to the one I have on my person. I showed the amulet again. There were lots of bird bones similar to this symbol, candles, and all those
if you
things.
all guys describe it in
Yeah.
detail, I can show him the picture as well.
Yeah, sure.
Actually,
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
So they describe a situation that apparently surmounts to this.
Okay. That's at the entrance of the cave, right?
Or a bit inside, yes.
A bit inside. Okay. Oh, that's horrifying. What else have you found out there? I mean, it's been a while. You can't have just taken a body and came back, right?
From what you can see here, or this is what they told you and what you're imagining right now. The clothes he had, and which is on his body right now, was neatly folded and put aside there. And of course, if you tell him everything, you also tell him that there is no sign of a struggle or any other marks on his body.
Yeah.
It looks like he apparently laid down and willingly got flayed, skinned.
While he was alive or after? Are there any other marks of him being killed before this?
No, sir. Nothing at all.
You think that he was flayed alive?
His eyes were open when we found him. He looked shocked, so we believe he willingly laid down on his back and died while people were skinning him of shock and of fear. But there is literally no sign of any struggle on his part. He just went in there, maybe undressed himself, even maybe he was the one folding his clothes and put them aside, and he just laying there. And I must add, sir, this skin work, let us say, is not a very basic thing. In the vicinity, the only people who could do it are me and Mr. Boswick.
And
It's not just someone can do.
I am aware that it's not done by any of us because we did a head count at lunch. We have no missing people. The only worrying thing that I have found was while working on the ledgers before lunch, I heard someone speaking briefly in it might have been outside, it might have been inside. I'm unclear on that, but there is a group of people that is doing this against us. That much is clear right now. All right.
What exactly have you heard?
Have you found the skin of him?
No,
No.
sir, and I made a deduction that I want to share before I start believing on it altogether once I come back to my senses. We read the creatures last night together and, skin changing and all that, and I believe this ritual, whatever it is, and, they had him, or he had him, or whatever had him there, only took the skin. So I believe whatever is going on, these rituals are about the skin. So maybe what they needed was the skin itself and not the body. Or maybe they had to get the skin and then sometime later maybe they needed to do something to the body with another skin. So that's my take on that. However unscientific it might sound to you.
Why do you think they would draw a pentagram and put him in the middle of it?
Well, because they are someone familiar with that sort of thing. They're from Europe, sir. That much is for certain. Definitely not native.
I don't remember the natives having any symbolism.
Oh, they
according to this,
do,
but
but not this. Definitely not this. Not the candles, not the pentagram, not the. Maybe this is a Keane thing.
so all right. Well, we have some guys that left for like taking the boat to the town, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have they come back?
3 guys. No, they haven't come back. Would any of them be able to skin a person?
So, most likely no. No one of those guys are the hunters. They are usually. Wilhelm here is the hunter, and Gabriel is the second hunter. He has some skill, but nothing close to this level. And the 3 guys that are on the boat work, they're supposed to be at the best coming back tomorrow. Remember, 3 days. This is Friday. You sent them on Wednesday, so Wednesday and Thursday down, and Wednesday down and Thursday and Friday up. So at the very, very, very best, if everything is perfect, they might even come back now tonight, but unlikely. Most depends on the weather. And right now the weather has been a bit back and forth, but they should be back here in by tomorrow.
All right. I suggest if there is any, well, what is going on around us cannot be explained by logical and normal means, I don't think.
I dare to say it can be explained, but
Unless
maybe
you
not the logic
deal with
you
devils.
are thinking about.
Yes. I suggest that. Well, what do you guys suggest then? Is there any deeper levels to this
I
cave,
have
or
a
is this
suggestion. Indeed,
the
Mr. Eden?
church? I know the church.
No,
we will get to that.
not the church. Hush, Mr. Eden. Are you there?
No.
Okay,
What do you expect? I'm here.
we're not making any noise. Anyway, you really think that this may be a skin shifter, right? A ritual of them, at least.
That is what I think.
Like eating the heartbeat? Yeah. I don't know what the bone markings are all about. Maybe to mark their prey or something like that. If so, that does not bode well for Mr.
Mr.
Boswick here. In any case, they were weak against silver, right?
That is
And-
what we read.
What I told you in the cave when we found this body, they all need the individual charms and beliefs. We should actually melt your silverware and put them, turn them into crosses and hand them out to anyone. This would either protect them or let us see who is to be accused of this kind of thing.
While we do that, we should also do what we discussed with Lord Widmore. I will give up all my silverware. I do not mind that. But we should also check everyone. You should bless everyone individually with your own silver cross to see if there is anyone hiding in our ranks as well.
That is in my mind, yes. I have to talk to them one by one.
Make a ceremony.
We might even turn this into a daily or once every 2 days occurrence.
How about we also ask the men to turn over their belongings? Like, we go and inspect their quarters. Maybe we will find more of these charms that
That would
Mr.
turn
Boswick
them
has,
against us.
and maybe
then.
we will see who are potential victims.
I thought you were against alerting people.
At this
I-
point, I think we can maybe just take a precautionary thing, because it seems to me that this charm or this relic, whatever it is, might have some sort of function, because we saw the same thing in the caves, didn't we?
So
this
what
is
if
definitely.
just ask them to willingly go through their stuff to see if they find something?
I do agree with that.
That's
Yeah,
better
we can
than
do that.
if they
Ask
don't
everyone.
own it, they will let us know.
Ask everyone if they can find anything in their personal possessions that does not belong there, that they have not placed there themselves.
Yes, that would be a wise plan to do so. But only the hunter would not say the truth.
What?
He's
hunter,
implying that
the
you would not
werewolf.
say that you have this.
No, not you. The hunter, as in the werewolf, would not, or whatever. The second
Oh,
chapter.
like a hunter. All right.
We are the prey right now, Mr. Boswick. Might be pretty unnatural for you to be in such a position, but still.
Well, were there any other levels or any other entrances or any other corridors within this cave?
Oh, it's
Few more corridors.
really far. It's a big cave. So we don't even have enough torches to explore further into the death.
It
in
might
this cave.
be. And how long was this journey of yours? 3 hours?
Wasn't it like half a day? We went 3 hours, we searched around the cave, we came back.
Actually, we went in the morning,
Yeah,
right?
out of this day, you used 7 hours to travel, and the rest of the hours you had, you used up there in the cave.
So, I do think that there is a group of people that are that have targeted us in one way or another, and with me hearing the voices outside, however briskly, however shortly, I do think that we need to be on the lookout more for both people outside that can come into the camp and do whatever they wish to, and between each other as well.
Actually, Boswick, I have a few questions for you.
I'm here.
Who carried you to your bed while you were, hurting?
It was my best friend.
Gabriel, right?
Yeah, but I think James was with me as well.
I have a suspicion that who we are looking for might be Gabriel.
No, he wouldn't do something
Yes,
like that.
I know you would think that, but we found a patch of fur on your bed. We found a bone charm in your lodgings. We actually saw the body of a deceased, your roommate, and definitely it was not the other roommate because he was terrified. That much as I have known for certain.
Well, if he was possessed by something, maybe Vincent did it. Or was that the name? Vincent? The deceased one.
Vincent
Yeah.
is the one who was skinned,
Vincent,
yeah, and Miles
yeah.
is the one who came with us.
Miles,
He's
yeah.
only Gabriel.
And yeah,
I know your
Gabriel
friends better than you.
might be the one we are looking for. Be suspicious of him. Try not to trust such person now. Like from now on.
Well,
Father, would you like to just confront him? I mean, just offer him your blessing, and as any true Christian would, you should take your blessing, right?
He
Just
took
do it.
my blessing just before we left, as you remember.
And did you touch him with your silver cross?
No, it was from
That is
afar,
what I'm speaking about, Father.
Maybe we
you
should
try that.
conduct a ceremony for him doing such a lovely job protecting our
how
borders
about we
and all
do
that.
it with everyone, so it won't be so suspicious?
Yes,
To
of course.
everyone, all of us included, and go through the line, touching everyone with the silver cross,
Which is
while
what we
blessing
have
them.
been suggesting since dawn.
Mhm.
But for some reason, Father Gladstone didn't want to do.
By the way, guys, I'm thinking after we're done with the scene with you guys here, we round up circa-ish. So, you can be, speaking for a while, doesn't matter, or having your conversation or planning. But after this, we're going to do the one-on-one conversations like we did last time, and then we round it off and stop for tonight. But
Alright.
I'm just giving you guys a heads up now that we're going to finish, shortly-ish.
All right.
Please do continue.
I think this is done. We have discussed this enough. Boswick, I have another question. As I said, questions before. Do you know any more entrances to this cave, like outside entrances, perchance?
No, I don't know any other than the one we found. I think this is the first time I'm there, isn't it?
Is that so?
No, it's the second, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I
there's
think
no
you
more.
know it around, like you know it enough, I guess.
I guess so.
If push comes to shove, I suggest lighting a fire at the mouth of hell. Such a fitting name it would be then,
We
I
could
guess.
maybe trigger a cave-in, seal off the entrance
If
entirely.
you light fire, and since it has to go into the cave, as air has to circulate into it,
I do think
it may
that
drive out any beast hiding within it.
we are not fighting any beasts, Father. With our gunpowder being gone, and with the possibility of a cave-in being disrupted by this scenario, there's only so much we can do right now. This was pre-planned. They possibly, whoever they are, within our camp or outside, did the gunpowder thing knowingly.
How did I access it though? Is there any breach? We are in his house right now, right? Eden? Can we check for a breach? Maybe behind the crates and all
In
that?
the armory, you mean?
Yes, of course.
Of course, naturally, I just
How
opened up
else
the
would
armory.
they get in there? It's a shame we didn't think about this before.
By the way, while they're doing this, I want to check around my other things, in my office, all the medical thingies, because I do have a suspicion. So while they're checking the armory, it's wide open. I just want to check around my office to see if everything is in place, including the furs.
Okay, so what's your suspicion? Since you're like, of course, there's a lot of things you have in there, so you have a suspicion, you say?
No, he's
I just
watching
wrote it
now.
to you.
Okay, okay. Then I have to do a little of this real quick. And we will. Oh, that's not the one. That's the one. Sorry. We're not.
I'll be right back.
Yes. Yeah. Like all of you go check the armory. There's no hidden boards or any weaknesses anywhere. This is a very secure room. All of the You know, there's only one entrance, and that's a very strong, sturdy door with a lock on it.
So
I would say if they have a skinned flayer with them, and if they are of some European origin, or if some Europeans are working for them, I wouldn't put it past them to have a good lockpick either.
or just steal it from Mr. Eden in his
But-
maybe restless
but,
days.
Sir,
I
did
do
I
not
not
think
have
that-
heard it? Like, I do have trouble sleeping, and if they were to break in, it would be at night. I think I would have heard someone tampering with it.
I
At least
also
this
do
is
not
what I
think.
think.
I do not think that the doctor would be able to carry that much water in the middle of night without being noticed to do the deed. We are talking about
I'm
barrels
not
here, not
accusing
pouches.
the doctor, no.
I am absolutely clear. I want to be absolutely clear here. I have no other conviction that this is being done by someone other than us. There is a group out there, and they might have people working inside. I'm not clear on that. But it is absolutely clear that there is someone out there that is doing this.
Did anyone
Um,
anger anyone back in England?
Well,
To
it might
fuck
not be
with
the
them like
English.
this?
It might not be the English either. We are not the only ones.
Fucking French!
I think I need to discuss something private with Dane, a private matter, if that's all right.
I would be happy and delighted.
As I said, we are not going to do too much of
Do
other stuff.
do
except
so
for
later,
stuff
yeah.
right now.
It's not
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, like we can do that just as we are finishing off right now. But
Alright.
is there
Alright.
anything else you guys are going to discuss between each other before we stop now?
No.
Or should we continue
um,
this and the next time so you guys can think about the whole situation? Okay, if that's the case, I'm going to mute John Gladstone and James Eden now, and after that, we're going to go through all of them. I guess I'll take Wilhelm or Dane Whittemore first this time then. So, just be ready for your turn. So, Wilhelm and Whittemore, go ahead.
All right, Dane. I just have a sneaking suspicion, like we all do. And I want to ask you, since you're ahead of this place. I was thinking about the skinning. I'm thinking about James. I know you know him a little bit. He has issues with sleeping, and he had bloody hands the first time this happened. And if it is possible to check his place out while he's doing something someday, to see if we find, for example, skin or anything, I want to ask you for your permission to do that. Nothing else. It's just that.
If you are to do so, notify me of the time so that I know when this is happening.
Of course.
I wouldn't be against checking his quarters, but I do think that he would allow us to check his quarters as well.
Well, then it's really easy for him to hide whatever.
Well,
I don't know.
that is true.
Eh,
We
we
can
might
ask
find
him
nothing.
while he is outside, and take the three of us inside to check his quarters.
Since,
Okay.
I think it's important that we check each other out.
So,
I do agree.
that's it then. We'll do
Yeah.
the one-on-one conversations, and we'll start with you, Wilhelm. So I'll mute you and pull you back in afterwards, Dane, okay? And you are alive, Wilhelm. Do please tell us everything you're feeling and thinking about the story and situation so far.
Well, everything. Well, I lost a roommate.
Indeed.
So that's pretty sad. I have my sneaking suspicions, like the last conversation. Still, the bloody hands. It's kind of does something. I don't know. and about the skinning and that. So, but it's not like I'm gonna accuse him of anything. It's just a suspicion. So yeah, we'll see. If he's a demon at night, hunting for hearts and skin, bones. Yeah.
So you said last time, James knows something is fishy, and James is all about being fishy, and it's even more fishier this time, or
No, it's about the same. It's nothing else. I don't feel like accusing him more or less. I think it's about the same. Yeah.
okay, sure. So that's it. We'll go on to the next one.
Mm.
Mr. Dane Withermore, please empty yourself of thoughts and feelings about the situation and the game right now.
The game is going good. The mystery is going well. I have so many questions that cannot be answered by what we know right now, and I'm positively sure that there is someone from outside the camp that is doing these stuff with the Indians being sighted and other stuff. But there is also an element of supernatural going on, and I'm not sure if any of these have any effect. And I'm not even sure if doing anything religious will help us in this situation. I mean, like shooting the right person could solve this immediately, perhaps, and that is why I'm on the lookout for. I got my pistol, and the moment I have any conviction about someone having done the wrong thing, they're going to be dead. They're going to be dead, or at least held at gunpoint and asked questions to, and then tied down and not left to sleep or to eat. And then after being absolutely convinced that it's them, they're taking a bullet through the head. There's no other solution to this. I'm going to shoot someone, and I don't know who that person is.
But you're going to be the one who shoots the perpetrator, or the perpetrators.
Well, as long as I have gunpowder and bullets, I guess. It's gonna be shooty town all up in here.
Do you think that's why there's such a big gap in between how long people take to play this campaign? Like 5 to 12 sessions?
Perhaps. It's also a possibility for my character to go, I'm not dealing with this, and start drinking. And I think that would be fun as well. But as the situation stands, he thinks that he can have a solution to end this, and it's on his hip.
So what about your, co-players in this? What do you think and feel about them?
I'm suspicious about all of them. They have their good points, but they are capable of hiding so much right now. And all of them have a wish that could be... I mean, like, the hunter would appreciate if I could gather the whole town up and go into the cave. The doctor would appreciate if I did so as well. The priest would appreciate if I finished the church, but, there's work, and work's gotta be done. And I'm not sure if I can, spend even a day to clear this up, because it appears that this will not clear itself up in a day. If that were the solution, I would have just took everyone and did whatever was necessary. So I'm going to be looking for the solutions, going through them one by one, trying to find the perpetrator of all of this, or the perpetrators, and see who's working for who. I got a few plans for that.
Sounds good. I'll just jump to the next one then, if you're done emptying yourself. It's Gladstone time.
Hello.
Please tell everything you're feeling and thinking right now.
All right. First of all, I have been writing Father Gladstone's diary on the side when I was, not doing anything.
Yes.
I would like to give that to you because it has some interesting stuff. Anyway,
To me.
first of all, yeah, you can share it afterwards. It's some text, not too long. Not right now, but still, maybe I'll post game.
Yeah, you can post it to me if you want to.
Yeah. This session, your Holy Father has done a lot of back and forths and changed his mind a lot because everyone was suspicious and he got his nose into everything possible. Everything unholy he deemed to be. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think it was a sudden spark of inspiration. My, last remarks about the Gabriel thing. It's maybe true. I think I kind of hit home there, kind of. I don't know about the skin shifters and anything, but Gabriel is suspicious because I forgot to mention one thing. Botswick was not killed. He was just hurt. It was actually a big kind of clue into it as well. He was just hurt. Maybe those charms were to mark him as to be hurt. I don't know. But I have my suspicions now. I don't trust any of three of these bastards. They can go to hell. I don't care. The Yeet has to, hog the screen time and anyway, whatever. He's a conniving bastard. We all know that. The Lord, he kind of became more suspicious. I don't trust him, Botswick, I think I'm going to be, bros with again. If he doesn't kill any more natives, I'm fine with him being around me, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, church is not going to happen. I changed my mind a lot, as I said. It was a bad day for me.
I guess there's plenty of reason to change your mind, and
yeah,
you will do so again, and when you have looked a bit more into the clues you've written down.
Yeah, maybe church is the right idea. Who knows?
Okay, sure.
Anyway, that's it.
Yes, then I'll jump on to the next one and then gather everyone back in.
Of course.
My
It's
turn?
James Eden time, and for the viewers, this is a very important little thing. You didn't catch it because it happened in hidden script behind, the scenes, because the rest of the players couldn't be able to, watch that. Because when he was searching through all of his belongings while the other ones were checking the armory, he found a jar with a bit of skin inside, and it's very recent, that skin. So, what's your thoughts and ideas? We're not going to play anything right now, not at all anything. We're just going to have your thoughts and ideas and suspicions.
As I said, I did have some suspicions about skin being found on my person. The moment Sheriff told me that it was only me and Wilhelm that could have done something like that, was instantly...
That is also something I wrote to him in secret, by the way, everyone. I wrote him while they were up in the cave that the only two persons that would be able to do such a feat of skinning in this camp would be James Eden himself here and the hunter Willem Bostwick.
So, either I am the most perfect functioning sleepwalking insomniac, or I have a split personality, or of all the people in this camp, I have managed to offend the worst person in the world, and things are happening around me to lay blame on my feet. So it's one of these things. As I said, either I have a split personality, or I am an evil bastard in disguise, hiding behind my insomnia, or there's someone out to get me. This session, I had to engage in a lot of private conversations and throw some of my story points around, because I am very well aware that I'm going to a place where I might not be able to return alive. So I'm trying to make the groundwork to at least absolve some of my sins, such as the gunpowder incident and all that. And now I have another thing to bury before anyone finds me out. Skin. As I said in the previous session, the priest is my, I suspect him greatly. He is definitely the one I suspect most, and this session he actually started cracking open a little bit. He does know more than he's letting on, so I think my assumption on that part is correct. And the rest, I hope I will be able to come clean out of this with my life.
Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, that's a lot of clues to go through today, huh? And a lot of things
Yes,
to think
sir.
about until the next session. Well, if that's everything you have to say, we'll pull back everyone in here and
Yes,
do
sir.
a little cleanup. And oh shit, that's not
No.
something that was supposed to happen. Please come back in. Oh shit! Let me just do it like this.
Yeah, he's back.
Oh, did you kick him?
No. No, he
I-
left on his own accord. There was no kicking or anything.
No,
Okay.
yes, I.
Did you kick me?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. That was not
Bastard.
my
That's the
intended.
proof he's guilty, you know?
Yes. Hey, get
Well,
him
my
out of the camp.
internet has been bad today, so I was wondering if it was.
So,
You
was
made him
it?
paranoid now.
a very excellent, good session, in my opinion. I am going to give you experience points right now. So Hammerden, Mr. John Gladstone, Priest, you will be gaining 4 points this session. Dane Withermore, Mr. Noble, you will be gaining 3 points. Wilhelm Bostwick, Mr. Hunter, you will be gaining 3 points.
Oh, wow.
And Yeet, Mr. Doctor, James Eden, you will be gaining 6 points.
You sly person.
I did nothing. I didn't do nothing. I just played my part.
Okay,
Yeah, sure, as if I
I-
believe that.
I am going to update the channel with all the information, so you guys can read up on who's who and maybe the major things on the dates that has happened so far. As for viewers and whoever checks this out, as far as I'm concerned with the timing here, we might be able to play on Saturday or Sunday. I'll get back to announcement about that, but that is what we planned so far. So if everyone is able to, we will try to do one more session this week, and then we have to have a bit of a longer break because of work timings in between me and Wilhelm Bostwick here. But awesome session. Thank you all for joining in on watching, and thank you all for playing. Just you guys stay behind just a few more minutes afterwards. I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.